You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector's Meeting. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests when we got the fans. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector's Meeting. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, wait, we got to fix this. I can't do this.
I
There
was
we
going to say,
go.
that was weird.
Yeah, it
That
does.
was good, yeah.
I feel like
Welcome,
the world's upside
everyone.
down.
Back to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 37. And tonight, you've got me and Joe, and we are going to be discussing the 2023 Game of the Year nominations and our picks for what we would nominate for the Game of the Year and our nominations. And go through the list of all the games that have been nominated, all the games that didn't get nominated, and it should be a bunch of fun. So how have you been, Joe?
I've been good, but before we get started, we do get an applause there, so we get that too. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I've been
And
pretty
the
good.
thumbnail is gold, by the way. Thanks, Pavel.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, dude.
It's a cool game, too, if you haven't checked out Brothers. A Tale of Two Sons. It's really fun.
That is a cool game, and if you want to know, I don't know if it's still the case. Maybe they fixed it, but Brothers, like, you think it's a co-op game, right? Because it's the same people who made like It Takes Two, and they made that No Way Out game, and so you think it's a co-op game, but in the PS4 version, like all it is like you control two characters with one controller. It's not actually co-op or whatever. And then like later on, I think they released it on the Switch. And then they added the actual co-op where you could play with two people and one person can control one character and one person can control the other.
Which is weird, because I always thought
Yeah.
it was the other way around and just assumed it was a co-op game. Because, like,
Everybody
the premise of
does.
the game is there's two characters and you've got to help each other to get through the levels. So it makes sense, right?
Yeah, they may. I mean, I could be wrong now, and they may have patched the PS4 version to include it, but it didn't. So, because I bought it and I went through that same thing, because I played It Takes Two with my girlfriend, and I played No Way Out, and I'm like, well, let's get Brothers now, let's do this, and I was like, oh man. But even if it's just a single player, like it was still amazing, great game, like really awesome. So make sure use your noggin.
You had a eerie ending, though.
Oh yeah, and it was
really good.
short. It was wicked short. I felt like I was just like, "That's it, we're done." Oh, okay. But I guess it was that was the first, like one of their first games. So
It was a
I
really early
played them
PS4
backwards.
release too. It came out the same time as games like Limbo and games like that, and then it was the start before we got like, every second release is like an indie title and all these indie companies pumping them out and everything like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I went through like a little like co-op game binge, and I got a whole bunch of them. You ever played Chariot? You ever heard of that one? That one's really fun too.
I don't think I've heard of that. No.
So I think it came out on the Vita maybe as well, but they got a PS4 release, and it's like you're like you play. There's two characters, and you're taking like the king's casket, like to his funeral or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I played it, but like the casket's on this like cart with wheels, and you have to like move the cart throughout the game, and like I don't know how to describe it, but like it's insane. It's like a physics type game, but it's a co-op game. and it's fantastic. It's really fun. If you guys ever want to try a co-op game or you're looking for something to play with somebody like couch co-op, I would definitely check that game out. It's super fun.
My like I've played a lot of couch co-op games, but I wouldn't say I've played many on PS4. And like the main reason being, there's not really many. I mean, if you look through the library, there probably is, but if you look through your AAA games, like there's not really many couch co-op games that aren't like indie games these days. If you go back to the PS3, I
Mostly
played
indie.
a lot of couch co-op games because I was like when I first started collecting, it was all about playing these games too. Like I used to have a thing anytime a friend came around and they wanted to play a game, I'd grab Dragon's Crown out because it was such a good couch co-op 2-player game. It's fun, and it's one of those games that 90% of gamers haven't experienced Dragon's Crown or Vanillaware before. So it's cool to give someone that experience for the first time.
Yeah, and then I believe that one is like one of the best games for like cross save platforms too. Like you play it on your PS3, your PS4, your Vita, whatever, and like
yeah, exactly. You can transfer
which is
the
pretty
save.
cool.
You can have multiple saves all going at once and everything. So if you got someone come over, you can start playing again.
TJ's morning lad seems so aggressive with the middle finger. I'm just saying. It's good morning. I believe I think Video Games Plus announced they were restocking some of their stuff, and one of the things they had was a Dragon's Crown Pro Hardened Edition or whatever.
Is that the steelbook one on PS4?
I think so. I was, I'm in Black Friday frenzy, bro. Like I'm trying to eat Thanksgiving. I'm mashed potatoes, but I'm also like eyeballing things, like looking for sales. Like I'm looking at 3,000 websites. I ordered so much stuff. So
3,000 websites,
bro. I'm on everywhere.
Oh my God, it's 100% off. They doubled the price last night.
I can't buy any. Like if I buy any game, I can't just buy it. I have to check every website to see who has the best deal right now. And then what ends up happening is like one per they have the best deal on this game, and I'm like, all right. Did they have anything else good? Like, and like I've orders and it's been fun.
Oh, I have to pay for shipping. Let's see if I can combine it and make it worth it.
Yes, I've done that with many. Exactly that. I had to keep like lots of places like $60 free shipping. I'm like, all right, let me find some other stuff. So Pickups vid should be good.
Video Game Plus. They posted something quite interesting this week. Did you see their ex post of Tamishi?
Yeah, I think they were just trolling.
Well, quite interesting for them to do that though. Like,
I feel like limited rare just brings out the best in everybody in the community, and it just like in the inner fucking troll just like needs to come out, and they're just like, oh man, imagine if
they were in the comments like, and what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm exactly, yeah, and I'm like,
I will give them credit and say that they did address that they're not reprinting the game.
No, of course.
They said they're going to reprint it, and then they came out and said that we're collectors too, and we like showing our stuff off sometimes. But I just thought it was kind of weird for them to show something off like that.
I think that was epic. I don't know. I am a troll, so I mean, I appreciate the art. I think that's great. So like, I find humor to have two acceptable outcomes. You can either make people like laugh, and that's awesome, or you can make people really upset, and that's also awesome. Like both of them are very satisfying as far as I'm concerned.
I thought it would have been better if they saved it till like April 1st or something.
Yeah, that would be. So I don't know. I mean, I can see people like legitimately having heart attacks over that. They're like, what? Because that's like, like that's, but the idea of it's, the whole idea, I mean, crazier things have happened, but the whole idea of limited rare is obviously supposed to be the FOMO. So like if they did any reprint of any of their games, that would destroy their business model.
The whole thing, exactly.
That would be, no game again would sell on eBay for lots of money. Like they would probably still sell games fine through their website or whatever, but I don't think they would be the craze would be dead because if one gets reprinted, they're all getting reprinted. Why not?
Yeah, you're spot on. Just on that April Fool's thing, do you think April Fool's has gotten to a point where it's hard to do an April Fool's joke today because everyone's aware of
Yeah,
April Fools. And like,
you should be.
did you see the recent Snoop Dogg controversy? Snoop Dogg came out and posted on X that he's given up smoking.
Mhm.
And anyway, it was just a marketing stunt for this like barbecue that's smokeless, and came out like 5 days later. And it wasn't
Dude.
on April Fools or anything.
It was just a barbecue. That's
Yeah,
all it was.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god!
He
People
was sitting in
smoking
front
on
of a
it for days.
barbecue and he did an ad that like, I'm sick of the smoke, so I'm going smokeless. This new barbecue doesn't have any smoke, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I don't even know if I approve of that. I mean, I like
His
smoke.
post
smoked
on
barbecue.
X,
You've had brisket that's been
community
smoked.
notes underneath it and everything.
That's funny. I mean, I when it was announced, it was like to me, like I'm like, I knew it was something fishy. Like it's not that. You know, even if it was that, like that's not
What
how
I
you
think
do.
is
That's
funny
not how
is-
you. That's not how you do things. You don't
It
announce
caused
you're
other people
quitting.
to like say in the comments, Snoop Dogg's doing it. I'm giving up this because if Snoop Dogg's doing it, then I'm changing my life as well. And then like 3 days later, these people are like, well, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing.
I mean, yeah. I mean that. Sure. I mean, if you're using Snoop Dogg as your like moral compass in life, maybe that's probably not the best idea anyway, just in general. I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad dude, just I could think of better role models. Just a couple. Figsy, for example. Figsy's he's a stand-up guy. But yeah, it's been interesting. What about them
It's
games of the
interesting
year?
today how
Mhm.
how much. I mean, it's always been the way, but with social media, how much celebrities are used as just marketers these days, and it's like you'd almost argue that it's thrown in our faces because it's
Mhm.
used in a way to deceive us and different things like that. I mean, it's always been the way, but even more today with social media because they have these big followings and everything like that.
Well, so yeah, so first of all, the term celebrity, I don't even know what it means anymore. Like, are we talking movie stars? Are we talking like Logan Paul? Are we talking like just this who's this? The term
Sports star, but like, yeah, exactly. If
you got a
someone's
half
got
a million
100
subs.
million followers on Instagram and you've only got 1
Yeah.
million, then who's the real celebrity? Like,
Correct. Yeah. So to me, that the term itself has been kind of, what's the word? I don't know, weakened or like lessened to me. But in general, I think social media is so as far as like the trust thing goes, it's a huge problem now because like influencers and people like that, they could be like manipulating you into doing something that they have a back deal with somebody else, or they could make videos attacking one company and their cousin owns their competitor. Who knows?
yeah,
Like
100%.
they can use their platforms for manipulation and stuff like that, which I don't like. And in general, though, I think social media has just been bad for celebrities across the board because it's like made them too accessible, and there's no mystery behind them anymore. Like before, it would be like you would imagine they're like these glamorous people who live these extravagant, adventurous lives that you'll never, and then now you just see them like in their bathroom in their kitchen, like hungover, ranting
Well,
about
to do that, they still do
something,
that,
or
but it's people showing
Mm.
fake lives online. Like usually online, especially Instagram, you only see the best of people's lives. You don't see
correct,
like
the
the worst
curated.
of people's lives. And if you go
Yeah.
through, you're like, oh, you're in Dubai, you're in London, you're in New York. This person
Mhm.
lives a great life, but they could be depressed every second of a day when they're home and different things like that. You don't see that,
Mhm.
and it can be like an anti-dopamine going through social media and seeing all these things, especially if you want to do them, but it's all it costs money and it costs money and it costs money and different things like that. It's a crazy world. And just on something else that you mentioned in terms of celebrities not having like the same appeal as they used to. I read this article yesterday and it made me think like what am I reading? And it was about these girls, blah blah blah, doing these things on schoolies, and the way the article addressed them, because they do OnlyFans, is these porn actresses. Okay,
Sure.
you call this like 19 or 20-year-old girl a porn actress because she does OnlyFans.
I mean, I've heard of people call it worse. To be honest with you, I don't want to. Listen. This is one of those. Who's really to blame here? Who's really to blame here? Is it that girls are doing it, or the morons giving them the money? Like who is stupider?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not involved in either. I am not showing my boobs. Nobody wants to see them, unfortunately. I've tried to sell pictures. Nobody, except Andy. I mean, but that's, he solicited them from me.
Time for the
So that's
podcast.
different. Yeah. But like, so I'm not involved in that, and I'm definitely not simping, dude. Like, no way, man. I'm just like, that makes me like.
Is it a generation of like older men? What is it?
It's both. I think it's older men and younger men. So there's old lonely men who have disposable income and no friends and no life and no wives and no girlfriends, and they just sit around and simp and throw girls money, and the girls are nice to them and they pay for that experience, and if they're happy with it, then that's fine, I suppose. To me, it's a little degrading to pay for fake kindness, but that's because I am able to get free, real kindness and affection quite easily from people and friends and family and girls, and I never had a problem with that. So I don't have that experience. So it's like a little harder for me to judge someone who maybe like cannot get any girl affection any other way. You know what I mean? So I try to be fair and I try to be reasonable, but again, it's just, when it comes to like that situation, it's like, I don't know. It's like, is the drug dealer really evil because everybody wants his drugs?
Yeah. And then
So
like,
is he really evil? Is he a bad guy because he's providing something that everybody wants them to provide? Are they? Like, I don't know.
See, I find it interesting because I am single, but like I see these affections as like 100% fake, and like a lot of them use AI for their messaging systems and different things like that. So to me, it's 100% obvious, and I'm like, obviously this is targeted at like, you see the photo of the old man in Bali holding the young lady's hand, and she's got like an Adam's apple, and it's obvious to you, but it's not obvious to him. Like I see it like that type of situation. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it could just be young people who have hope and faith, and
I do think that there's a lot of people who are younger now who they were not even. Well, I don't know. That's probably mean to say. There's tons. So first of all, when I speak of in generalities, I hope everybody understands that I'm smart enough to understand there's exceptions to every rule, and there's always people who aren't like outliers or different. And I'm not talking about everybody, but just from like in general speaking, like. I do find that there's a lot of younger people that lack social skills, and they can't make eye contact when like talk to you and look at you and stuff. And like girls who are like that, you need to be able to like exude some. You have to exude some sort of like confidence and or value, for them to notice that you might be valuable. I don't know how else to say. If you're just like.
Well, they've probably grown up
right.
where online dating is the main way where people meet each other. Like when I was young,
that's got to be a nightmare.
It came in when I was young, but it wasn't what people were using until I was in my 20s. I was still asking people out in person up until, a few years ago, really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, until there were restraining orders, I was doing that. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Until there were restraining orders. We had a question from TJ, Joe.
Oh yeah, what you got?
My sister bought a young son a VR for Christmas. Any recommendations on kid-friendly VR games?
Which VR platform is it? VR1, PSVR 1, 2, or like a PC or something like that? Or there are definitely a lot of kid-friendly games. There's a cute cars racing game on PS4. It's called VR Kart Racer. All rhythm
That's
games
like
are
one of the most expensive VR games to the Kart Racer, especially.
Oh, is it? Of course it is.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Well, that one sucks. All the rhythm games are good. There's no profanity in any of the music, and that's jams. And there's like 5 difficulties on Beat Saber, for example, and stuff like that. Geez, dude. Oh, God. For kids, I don't know. Squishies is fun. Is it PSVR 1? Because that's what I know the most about. I don't even know. I kind of need an answer to that.
We'll find out.
All right.
So I got that nightmare, that day.
The day mare.
Shit.
Dude, oh my God. So it's been $50 for a long time, or 40. I think it's $50.
I've seen it drop in price a couple of times now. Like, it's not the first price drop, right?
Correct. So what happened was there was the PS5 copy and the PS4 copy, and the PS5 copy randomly dropped to $19.99, and I bought it, and Reggie bought it. We were like, yeah, man, woo! It's right there, actually. I have it right there. That's that one. So. And then the PS4 one was still full price, and we were like, "What the fuck? I don't want to buy that." So we're like, nah. And so then, like on Monday or something like that, it went on sale for like $29.99. And then Reggie was like, "Yo, check it out! It went down." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it." And he's like, "No, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Hold out. Just hold out. It's gonna get cheaper. It's gonna get cheaper." And I'm like, "You sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, man. Just don't do it." I'm like, "All right." So I waited. And then today I was on Twitter and I saw somebody post the PS5 copy was on sale again. So I was like, I wonder what the PS4 copy is. And the PS4 version was on sale for $17.99 on Amazon. I was like, dude. So I sent Reggie a message. I'm like, no, release, go, get it. Like, I'm like, buy 3 of them. Goddamn.
Buy 3.
Yeah. Like, dude. It's $17.99 for that's like a horror game on the PS4 collector's edition. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
and honestly, I liked the first game, and I think I've heard this one's an improvement. So I'm assuming it's good. Yeah, I would definitely pick it up for $17.99. You can't go wrong. Even if for pure like you're like just someone who wants to collect like it'll be worth more than $17.99. I can guarantee that. There's no way. You know what I mean? Like, and now I checked and they announced it coming out on the Switch in March. So I told Reggie, I'm like, now we gotta wait until June for that to drop to $19.99. Get that one too.
The Switch version will be like, we gotta wait till 2033 for that one to drop to $19.99.
Yeah, but so what'll happen is actually in March it'll come out. And me and Reggie were like, we're going to wait for it to drop. Oh, my God, it's $150. What do we know? Because it's a Switch game. It will sell out and it will not get cheaper.
Yeah, What's that, Robert? That's a really interesting idea. Robert was saying I should do a series on my old rare and collectible PS4 games and like talk about the games that actually did shoot up in value and have become rare and collectible.
Or maybe a couple that got reprinted or something.
Yeah.
That would be fun. That's a good idea. I like that.
DJ was saying VR2.
VR2.
Everything you just said.
Oh, gosh. I'm not even that familiar with the library. I mean, it does have all those rhythm games I was talking about for sure. The Last Workers. I don't know if that's good for kids. Skylines VR, the city building game. I bet that one's really good for kids, right? Or is that too complicated, maybe?
Okay, day one, I was really enjoying it.
This is Skylines VR. I don't think this is the new one I was just talking about. Yeah. It's like its own.
City Skylines 2, off topic. Okay. I put in like 500 hours into the first one. Like I was generally excited. I've probably spent $300 or $400 on all the DLC. I own every piece of DLC this game's put out. DLC doesn't cover over to the second game. Playing the second game without all that DLC that I previously had, it feels like they've just taken so much out of the game. And it is quite disappointing. Like for me, I may as well just play City Skylines 1 with mods. I'm going to have a better experience. So, like, really, I'm like, delete. I'll pick it up in 3 years once they add all the shit that I used to have in the game. And it's quite disappointing. There's a couple of, like, quality of life features, which is great. But it's just mods that the community have been using for years. You know, it's not like the company have gone out of their way to invent something. They're just like, oh, everyone uses this thing, and it's actually really good, and it improves the game. We'll put it in the game.
Yeah. Might as well.
Which is good, but it took shit out of the game too. Like
Yeah, that's unfortunate when it feels like it's a step back.
oh, yeah, I'll give an example. So airport building, they had this airport update. I paid for it like $20, and you got to completely build your airports, build your runways, build everything. You build the terminal as long as you want. You building train stations and subway stations, and the airport would take up like a huge chunk of land, which makes sense for a city. The airport's
sure.
huge. And then you want just like here's your one default airport building that takes up this tiny little square that we've already show you where the runways are and everything. Like that's how the game started, and then you introduce this big update where it used to take like an hour to make the airport. And, it was really disappointing for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it personally yet, so but I do like that type of experience. I like city building games quite a bit. I used to, what I used to love is actually the SimCity on Super Nintendo. That game is so flipping good, dude. I think that's still my favorite. Although SimCity 2000 is pretty dope too, but just the SimCity on Super Nintendo, man. Oh god, I remember putting hours and hours and hours and hours into that game with my brother.
I always say
natural disasters coming.
The update of SimCity, like it's SimCity if SimCity continued into the 2000s, and it's amazing. If you haven't given anyone the first one a go, it's what the game actually does in the core of how you build a city is really good, because you don't build the buildings. The buildings build themselves. You build the infrastructure, the roads, and the utilities.
That should be the tagline. You don't build the buildings. The buildings build you, or some shit like that.
Well, if you build a good city, people will move in, basically. And if you get the people, then they want to have jobs, so they go into the industry scene, and industry goes in, and like the game, you can just sit there and watch your city build itself. It's so cool.
That is
like,
cool.
I'll put a new suburb in here, and I'll put a school and a police station, and hook up a bus line and a taxi line, and you sit there for 10 minutes eating food and watch your city build. It's awesome.
So I would get that game at my computer. My PC is like a potato, so I want to get like a new PC, which I think I'm going to do with my tax return. So I'm going to cash out so I can cash out PTO at my job. So I'm going to cash out like 40 hours, and then I'm going to get my tax return, and I'm going to build a monster, and then I'm going to get I'm going to upgrade all sorts of stuff, get a new PC VR headset. And then I could play games like that. And then since I got my Steam Deck, I've been like just freaking loading the Steam library up with shmups, man. Like just going ham. And so I'm like, well, now I kind of want to I want to take my old PC, because I don't need this thing will run shmups, no problem. And I could actually set up another little setup with a Tate mode monitor and get my arcade
Xbox
stick.
Come out with a new game that's exclusive to PC only, and you want to play it, you don't want to have to go buy an Xbox. You want to just be able to play it on your PC.
100%, which is going to happen at some point if the next next Elder Scrolls is coming out on that or something. There will be a game that I know you haven't played
Starfield yet, but if you want to play Starfield, it's PC or buy an Xbox.
So I don't know. Maybe yes or no. I might. I'm intimidated by games that are really big like that these days. Like I do like occasionally playing a long game, but even when I play those games, I tend to speed run through them because I'm just nah, bro. I can't be bothered.
Well, speaking of Starfield, that comes into our conversation with today's topic, and tonight we're going to be talking about the 2023 Game of the Year. So me and Joe, before the podcast started, got a little bit of a list together. For ourselves, our experience, as well as looking up different people's lists on the internet. And we're going to go through 10 or 15 games that we believe could have made the list of nominations, or just games that we should talk about for good or bad reasons. It's kind of in a little bit of an order, like the top 4 or 5 have all been nominated for Game of the Year. So I guess I'll start at the bottom of the list. Sure. And that is Diablo 4. Which, prior to being released, they would have expected it to be on the Game of the Year list, but didn't make it. I've heard mixed things about it. I haven't played it myself. I got friends that are still playing it, who picked it up day one and are loving it. But the overall, I heard that it was good for like the first 50 hours, and then it just became a grind fest, and they
Mm.
really didn't fill out that like end game with content and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's sold extremely well. So if you're just thinking of it like that way, it did well financially. It was successful, but yeah, I didn't play it because I heard it was just one of those games that had an online only requirement. Like it does not have an offline single player mode. Like you have, even if you want to play single player, you need an internet connection, and that's a no from me, because to me that game is a coffin. And like I literally just, I don't want a game that I put in 1,000 hours and then one day the character's just gone and I can't go online and check if I can play it again. Like I'm good with that, dude.
Well, not just that. That game has a mode like you can select not to use this, but it has a mode that is really popular called permadeath mode, which means if you die, you lose your character.
Yeah, it's hard.
You
It's
can have
hardcore.
1,000 hours of this character and lose it on one silly decision. You know.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't play hardcore mode because I would rage too much if I died for something stupid. If I just died, sure, but like you could die because your internet was laggy and you took a portal and you loaded into a place and your screen was still loading and you could just hear something killing you and you're like, what the hell's happening? And then the screen loads and you're dead. Like crazy, you could have terrible things happen. So I'm good with that. But hardcore mode is intense though. So if you do, like, it makes it, your heart pumps, you get the adrenaline.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it is fun to do, just not my cup of tea. As far as like the whole game, I heard, so from what I was told, that it was basically, they didn't really make anything more than what was available in Diablo 3 Endgame, where you just like eventually got to the spot and like you said, it was a grind. And then I heard that they had some big patch that came out that was not good. Like it was some sort of disaster. Like everyone hated it. Like they nerfed a bunch of stuff, or I don't know what they did. They made it not fun for people, and
I still feel like I want to play it at some point. It probably won't be until I pick up a copy for like $19 or something. But it's definitely a game that, like, I've looked at. Like, I do want to play this. I don't want to just sit on the sideline and watch.
If Xbox owns Blizzard Activision, could it be on Game Pass now? Potentially.
Yeah,
at some point.
I'll be playing it for free at some point.
Yeah, and then that's.
I think the way this will work is we'll
right price point.
We'll try and narrow down our list to 4 games. So obviously we're going to remove Diablo from our list, right?
Yeah, no, I don't want that on my. Get that poop out of here.
All right, next one on the list, Dead Island 2. Probably surprised that we mentioned this one, but it actually got a really good release and people really enjoyed it after the first one, which came out like 15 years ago.
So Dead Island 2, to me, it was becoming like the zombie Half-Life 3. Like that thing just wasn't coming out, man. Like I remember like the pre-order for Dead Island 2 went up in like 2014. It feels like. I have no idea. I remember seeing that like you could pre-order it on Amazon for years, dude. And it was just like coming sometime.
Coming to the PS3 /4/5 soon.
Yeah, just dude, it took forever.
Hey, they released it for GTA 6.
So I haven't personally played it yet, but I love that type of game. That I played Dead Island 1 like multiple times. I thought that game was super fun, dude. So I can imagine it's excellent. I don't know if it's got like the gameplay or designed to be game of the year or whatever by any stretch of the imagination. But for me, it's all about how much fun you have. So if that's the case, I bet that game's pretty good. So it could make my list.
I don't think game of the year at all, but might have been game of the month when it came out. And it's a great game. And if you see it for a good price, I'd definitely be grabbing it. Like that's. It's ticking most of the boxes. It's not definitely not game of the year, but it's a great release, and
it's on sale right now for Black Friday in a couple places.
Especially for a game that has such a big delay, like you find games like that can turn out to have bad releases because they started making it 15 years ago, and technology's caught up to them, and blah 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 blah.
Do you see that Cyberpunk is like a PS5 edition, Ultimate edition coming out now.
Yeah, and it's not on the disc.
It's not.
No, the PS5 version's download code. Like
The whole game?
the whole game.
Oh fuck! Oh f that, dude. Never mind. I
It's
didn't know
on the Xbox though. The Xbox get it.
that has it on the disc.
It's on
But
the
the-
disc for the Xbox, but it's download only for the PS5.
That's so weird, dude. They're
That's
like it's
collecting
usually the
games today.
opposite.
Oh, I hate it, man.
Wow, you just totally
it.
like took the wind out of my sails on that. I was like, is it time for Cyberpunk to redeem it? Nope. Never mind. That's unfortunate.
All right, next on the list, we have a remake, and a remake that got a really, really good response this year, and that is the Dead Space remake. And I'm pretty sure you played this one, didn't you, Joe?
I did play this game, and so I mean, I definitely love this game. I thought it was amazing. It was like for me one of the I. So I know this term gets thrown around, but like I find it the immersion quite good, like really good in that game, and like that's what I'm looking for in any type of horror game. Is like I like the games that suck me into the point where I'm like, I don't know, I lose track of reality, and like that game did such a good job of doing that. Like I thought it had the graphics were absolutely insane, and like the what I loved most is the sound design in that game is incredible, dude. Like everything sounds like amazing and satisfying and like hits hard. I don't know how else to say it. Like everything is sick, dude. So I really liked it. Now, can we our remakes, remasters, whatever, are these games of the year though? Because like this is the thing though. Like the only reason I would even allow it though is because it's a Resident Evil 4 nomination.
Yeah, like personally, I would never put a remake in my game of the year.
No.
Look, the only exception would be a game like, let's look at like the Final Fantasy VII remake, which is basically a completely different experience to the first game, which was like 30 years ago, and you know, like that's a different type of experience. So when they're doing a game
Sure.
like this, that you know, it's the same story, the same game that you played 15 years ago, where they've just made it modern, put in, you know, new
Fresh
graphics,
coat of paint.
made the sound a little bit better. Like, no, that shouldn't be a game of the year because you haven't done anything.
Well, I just don't think that's not a good representation of the year. Like it should be new. You know, the whole point of the game of the year should be to celebrate new creations of the recent games and rehashing an old game. Doing I
If
don't
Dead
know.
Space won Game of the Year, and in 30 years we're reading out all the games of the year, and you got to Dead Space, and you're like, what? This game came out in 2007. What's it doing in the 20? And then it got a remake. That's dumb.
Mhm.
You know, like, or it would be like, well, there no games come out that year. They had to give it to a remake.
Even Final Fantasy VII, the remake or whatever, I agree with you. It could I'm not as bothered by that being nominated because that is a remake of such an old game and it's totally different. Like it's completely different. It's literally the different game. It's the story is just similar.
Where the Pixel Remaster Collection isn't. It's just the old games in a new format.
Correct. And like, you know, I wouldn't say those games scream 2023. So
no, they scream 1990.
But even then, I would still be bummed if
2023
Final
prices.
Fantasy. If Final Fantasy won the game of the year in that scenario, I'd still be like, really? We didn't have anything else that year that was new at all that could have won. Like, I would, yeah. So
a verdict on Dead Space, amazing remake. If you want to do a remake, do it like this, but you're not going to win Game of the Year.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know. I put it in my
game
amazing,
that is a new IP. Did really well. I believe it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this title had the most sales of the year. Didn't get a nomination though, and that is Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, which
I'll take it on this one because I played this game.
Okay.
I picked it up day one. I know that there were a lot of patches that I didn't get to play with, and it did improve the quality of the experience. But this is my experience with the game. First 10, 15, 20 hours was one of the most amazing video game experiences I've ever had. I grew up reading Harry Potter. I watched all the movies. You know, I was a kid when the books came out, so like I've grown up with it. So to go through and be able to explore that castle for like 20 hours was genuinely a really amazing experience. That if you like Harry Potter a little bit, like please play this game because that is amazing. However, once I left the castle, I feel like it turned into a very generic, like Far Cry-ish, Assassin's Creed-ish type. Here's your open world. Here's everything to do. Go and do it. It's the same thing 100 times. Missions that I've done in video games before, like storylines that didn't catch me. The broom flying was really cool, but you kind of get over it after 5 or so hours. You know, it's like just like traveling in Spider-Man's really cool, but you know that can't hold up the whole game. You know, it's also got to be the missions and everything. So yeah, I actually didn't finish Hogwarts Legacy. Like I don't like grinding out games if I'm not enjoying myself. So I got 40, 50 hours in. I actually sold my copy. So yeah, I definitely went from like a 99, 100 loving this game, and as I got on, I didn't enjoy it as much. I know other people have a different experience, and that's great. You know, if people got the platinum trophy and loved it the whole way through, that's awesome. But yeah, that was my experience. But I definitely believe like it should have even got a nomination.
I don't think Resident Evil 4 should have been nominated over that. Personally.
And for the fact that it's a new IP, and they should encourage companies to make new IPs like this and reward them. Hey,
that came out this year. That were created this year. Like I said, it should be a celebration.
Like, you've got the balls to make that in the gaming community. We need more games like this. Here's a nomination, and new companies will be like, "Hey, why don't we not remake our game? Why don't we make something new so we can get that recognition too?" But they go on the other way, which sucks.
Yeah, and it is, and not that sales really matter that much, but it is surprising to me. Like I think it's the best-selling game, and it didn't get nominated at all. So you know, what's
just it was the best-selling game, and it also had it had like fan bases who were like, "Don't buy this," blah blah blah. So it overcome a lot of things as well as a video game, you know, controversy, etc.
And yeah, so I didn't know. I just got it actually recently. It was on sale. I got the PS4 copy for $20. Finally, I was like, hell yeah, that's a sweet place to jump in on it. I played maybe like the first like 2 hours of it so far, and I was having fun. Story's great, graphics are insane, music's amazing.
Yeah. You get to pick your house that you want to be in. Like you get to live the Hogwarts experience. It's cool.
For the record, I'm a Hufflepuff. I know you guys didn't think that, but that's the truth. I'm a Hufflepuff.
What did I pick, Joe?
What did you pick? Slytherin, you sick fuck? I don't know.
You know I picked Slytherin.
Of course you did. You evil talking to serpents. I see you.
Wasn't even a choice. Give me that.
I see you. So now you guys know who's the dark side and who's the light side of this combo here. We got a Hufflepuff and a Slytherin over here.
What's up, Forge? Harry Potter is probably my game of the year. Yeah, and it is a lot of people. I'm really surprised that it didn't make the list. I generally had to look at it twice and be like, "What? Hogwarts isn't on the list? It's crazy."
Yeah, and I'm not trying to poo-poo Resident Evil 4. I played that as well. I loved it, but I just am shocked that it didn't make it on the list.
Does it make our list of nominations? I like to say it does.
I could see it. Yeah, either way.
We get down to the point that we have to get rid of it.
I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Like that was a game that like I couldn't put down. I played it from start to finish, and but again, it's I didn't feel like it was a massive departure from the original game by any means. I was like, it's kind of just nicer. It feels smoother. They changed some things about the combat, and they changed a little bit about the story. Not too much, but a couple things here.
Just I mean Hogwarts Legacy, not Dead Space.
Oh, what do you want now? I'm confused.
Yeah, so we'll leave Hogwarts Legacy on the list at this point.
Oh yeah. I thought we were talking about Resident Evil 4. I'm sorry.
I
want to put Hogwarts Legacy on the list for sure. Yeah, I think that game is definitely good.
Eventually we'll get it down to 4 games. So for now, Hogwarts Legacy stays there. Next one on the list, we have Alan Wake 2, which I was surprised got nominated for Game of the Year. And I'm sure it's a great game, but as a collector, I'm a bit salty because it doesn't have a physical release, and the developers got offered to do a physical release and said, no, we don't want one. Guess
I
what?
almost feel
It's always going to be the price that they want it to be. It will never be on sale unless they want it to be on sale.
I swear it's like a marketing campaign. So you and I both know that the entire actual gaming industry prefers a digital market to a physical market. And so like they want everybody to just get over it and just move into the digital. And like so I feel like nominating this game that's like, digital only and they're like making a big stink about it is trying to like push sales of it so that they can
It is on
so
Game
other
Pass too,
so
right?
hopefully other companies will follow suit and just start releasing all digital because that's what they want. And I don't know, man. I'm just like totally against it. I honestly don't care if it's the best game in the world. I wouldn't put it on my list.
See, I'm kind of
I'm not
the
going
same
to
way.
play it.
Like,
I'm not gonna play that game.
I haven't looked at gameplay, and I played the first one. Like, I mean, I didn't love the first one, but I thought it was a good game. Like, it was a very solid title. I played it back on the 360 like 12 years ago. But
I'll
I haven't
buy.
even watched gameplay of the second one.
I will buy indie. I will support indie developers digital only releases that aren't getting physicals. I will buy like some shmup that's $3 or $5. I'll throw money at like actual indie developers who want to release their games digitally because I don't mind doing that. This is a giant AAA release, and I'm like, no, I don't want this. I don't want it. I'm just not going to support it. Like,
And it's not like there's not many games for us to play. We're in an age today where I'm like, do I want to play this, or that? I can't decide because there's so many good games. It's not like
completely
back in the day
oversaturated.
where it's like, do I want to play this or that? And that's it. It's like we have so much choice today. So like to just it's almost like they're excluding an audience by doing it this way. It would be like releasing a game to only American audiences only, online only, and not selling it to Europe. Which sounds dumb, right? Would probably never happen. But that's the same thing. It's not selling it to people who buy physical because
Japan does that shit all the time, bro. They're like, this is only for Japan. You buy American. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? They have those Dragon Quest Hori controllers. Like, I can't order them, man. Like, I can only buy them off eBay for like freaking scalper prices. God, makes me so mad.
All right, next
the
game.
Final Fantasy plates. No, let me just bitch about this. The Final Fantasy plates. I couldn't order them either
you
from
just
Japan.
named the game, Joe. Final Fantasy 16 is the next one.
Okay. I'm surprised I wasn't nominated, to be honest with you.
I am as well. For me, I haven't played it yet. I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan. The reason I haven't played it is because I was halfway through Zelda when it came out. Other games have come out that I'm playing, so I'm like, I'm not going to go and spend $70 when I can just pick it up later, cheaper, and still have a great time. I really want to pick it up. I've watched a little bit of gameplay on Twitch. The people I've talked to, and I watch people who play JRPGs, and like that's their game. They all think it's absolutely amazing. However, I have heard from the overall, gaming scene that it's not, the best JRPG that's ever come out. It got forgotten pretty quickly. Like so much hype around its release, and then Baldur's Gate 3 came out and took a lot of the limelight away from it. I feel.
I think it hurt. I think it really hurt itself being PS5 exclusive, to be honest with you as well. Like I think that like it just didn't...
I would argue that it was PS5 exclusive because it was made to be a PS5 game, meaning it was too powerful to run on the PS4. And it was
that's fine, but I mean no Xbox or
like I'm actually a fan of that. But yeah, you're probably right in no PC release, no Xbox release, especially today where Microsoft are probably like, getting up there again in terms of like killing it in the gaming scene. There's a lot of people converting over to PC gaming, I would say.
I honestly, not that they didn't sell a lot of units, but the whole shortage of PS5s in the first like couple of years of PS5s existing, that screwed up a lot of things. So like if the install base is like half of what it should be in your game, because it takes years for them to plan that. What's up? What's the matter, brother?
I'm really shocked what I just looked up. I just looked up how many copies did Final Fantasy 16 sell. I'm expecting what? Just have a guess.
I think it's like 500,000, dude.
right, small. I was expecting like 10, 15 because
Yeah.
that's a Final Fantasy game. Like
Yeah, it didn't spend that much.
it sold 3 million copies. That's got to be disappointing for Square Enix, right?
It's like the same
Mainline title Final Fantasy game. I'm sure the 7 remake sold more than that.
I definitely think so. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, and I bet that the new one that come out with will sell better than that.
I'm gonna
And
look up 15 sales. I'm thinking 15 million, 12 million,
so another thing too, which
10,
I
10
can't.
million. Like, and that makes sense. Released on all platforms. Mainline Final Fantasy game wasn't the best game, but 10 million sales, 3 million for the new one. That's a big deal.
This is something too that like I don't know if this has any effect. Maybe it is, maybe it doesn't. But the business practices of the industry have made it that I won't not buy your game when it's new. Like I'm not going to pay $60-$70 for your vanilla version of your game because
Yep.
I know 100% you're going to have a bunch of DLC.
Yep.
And then you're going to release another version and you're going to try to charge me $70 again. So I'm not buying your game. So if you want your game to have these great initial sales and all this other crap, like I guarantee you there's a lot of people like me who just been burned too many times, dude. We're like, I'm not doing it. Like I'm waiting until the vanilla release is $20, $30, something like that. I can get it nice and cheap. And then I'll play that for that price and then maybe get the DLC if I really want to, or I'll wait and just get the crazy edition. And like same thing with fighting games. I like Street Fighter 6.
They're worse.
I'm not buying. I'm not buying even if it's on sale. Like I'm not buying the game until every character is released, and I'm buying the whole thing. Like go to hell. I'm not doing this.
You're better off buying the last version because it's now at the peak.
Mhm.
All the DLCs on it, all the characters are there. Like
Yeah, I'm good.
I would just add on that comment that over the last couple of years, there are 2 games I played that sort of went away with this, and one game of the year last year, and I feel like another one may win it this year, and I'm hoping that the gaming industry follows those trends, and that's being Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild. 2 games that got released from day one, complete.
I mean,
working. Yeah. Sorry,
The
Tears
other
of the
one.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
The 2 games that got released day one didn't need patches, worked like hundreds of hours of experience. Most likely they're not getting DLC. What we heard about Elden Ring DLC, but if it doesn't come, it's still a 200-hour amazing experience. Probably one of the best games I've ever
and it's
played.
complete. And I'm honestly more comfortable paying $60 for that Zelda game because I know it's
70.
complete.
It was 70 when it came out. And
Sure.
It's worth it.
Yeah, and it's complete and it's got hundreds of hours of content and it's not going to be updated. And I know it, like that's appealing to me. And you can charge me that value if it's all there, but that's not at all how it. Now it's like we're going to give you the beta version of the game. There's no online mode yet. We're going to add 2-player support in 3 months. And then we'll add your country's language in 6 months and just buy it now and give us some money. And then we'll fix it all up and then patch it. And then it's just like, dude, what the hell is this?
I have 4 versions of Final Fantasy 15 because that's just like DLC, more DLC. Well, you know what, guys? We just made more DLC.
Yeah. And then what's great is you buy the game and it's not even on the freaking cartridge. It's like a code. You're like, what the fuck? Like, why did I even buy this? There's nothing even on it.
Even if, yeah, you're right. Like, it could be amazing, but the way the experience is set up today, I'm not going to play it until the game of the year's out, and I can finish it at once because I don't want to replay a game. I don't want to play a game today, and then the DLC comes out. It could be the best DLC of all time. If I got to play the game again, it sucks. Or the other road is you jump in at the end of the game and just play the DLC, but you're not playing through the game, so you mightn't be up with the mechanics. You might forget different things.
Well, that's another thing that sucks. I don't like finishing a game and then 3 months later playing it again for 4 hours with this little DLC thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. I want to play the game, finish the game, play the DLC, finish the DLC, and do it all at once. Like when I played Borderlands, I had the Ultimate Edition, and I was just like, hell yeah, baby, let's go. We're doing everything, and it was great. No waiting, no whatever. It was
Cyberpunk today. You get it's all there. It should have been like that from day one, but thankfully they've finally got it out. All right, so Jay, we're going to take Final Fantasy 16 off our list.
So I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't have any passionate opinions about it, but I can't say it's game of the year. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. All right, next game on our list, a bit of an indie title, isn't in the nominations, but definitely a really, really well reception this game's got, and that is Sea of Stars. So I believe Sea of Stars is the turn-based RPG that's sort of taken Chrono Trigger elements to it. I
Yeah, it's like an
haven't
indie
played it
game.
yet, but I know you guys in the chat have been absolutely raving about it, and I do want to pick it up and give it a go.
So I think in a fair, just world that would get nominated, but I don't think that it's like isn't this like the guy from PlayStation? Doesn't he pick these? Isn't Jeff Keighley or whatever the hell Keighley, whatever the hell's name is? I don't even know. I don't, AAA studios are going to pick like AAA games. I don't think.
Yeah. Like a game like this, it'd be
Yeah.
like Stardew Valley winning Game of the Year. We'd love.
So I honestly feel like this group of things, like I think indies should have like their own ceremony, like best indie games. To be fair, so I haven't played it, but from the people who I know who have played it, including my roommate, everyone's loved that game. So I can see it being a fan pick for sure. Like, like the community pick, well, maybe people who actually buy and play video games, I could see it being in their list for sure. So I have no problem with it making the list. Let's put it that way. It's a real game and it's a complete game and it's everything about it is great. So
Leads to the question: does it make our list of our? We'll narrow it down to 4 games.
we can only have 4 on there.
Looking at this list, I can't squeeze it in the 4, but I haven't played it, so that would have a
No.
big. All right, sorry guys, we're gonna take Sea of Stars off our list. All right, next one goes to a company that have a couple of Game of the Years.
I would do it. I would do a list for indie games separately because I love them passionately. And it would be on there for damn sure. So anyway,
Well, if you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments, and
maybe we'll do that next time.
Get our Indie Game of the Year 2023 episode out before the end of the
I
year.
actually am way more into indie games and know more probably about them than I do about AAA games. Because, like I said, indie games I can blast through 20 of them in a month. AAA games, I'm like, oh dear Lord, I better take some time off work to finish this.
All right, next studio has, I believe, 3 Game of the Years in the last 9 years, and that is From Software with Armored Core 6. Another one that I didn't pick up day one. I usually do pick up my From Software games, but I'm not the biggest Armored Core fan, and I looked into it and went, like, I'm not going to love this. Receptions that it got were way better than I expected. Like, people who have never played Armored Core before absolutely are loving this game. And I want to pick it up. I'm just waiting for a price drop. Only heard really good things about it. I've watched probably 5-10 hours of gameplay and really enjoyed what I seen. And I was watching people who play Dark Souls games and they were loving it. So they've obviously gone, we make Dark Souls, we make Armored Core, but our fan base are Dark Souls. So let's incorporate as many mechanics from this game into our other one to get the fans who love Dark Souls playing Armored Core. And I feel like they've done a really good job.
I haven't played it, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I heard it was difficult as hell, which is probably something I'm all about. Like, I don't know, dude. I like games that smack me around a little bit.
I love them, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's refreshing. Like games where you just steamroll through them, they're fun, they're fine, but they're kind of like whatever. I don't know, it's just not the same. And then
game where you beat and you scream because you beat. That's the game I want to play.
I like games where like you can't just not think your way through it. It forces you to have a plan and you have to think. Those are the games that I like. The games like, no, dude, you're not just gonna like hit A and smash A. Like if you do that, he's gonna counter you and kick you in the balls. So what are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll hit maybe I'll try to get behind him. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try to do this. Maybe I'll hide behind this. Maybe you gotta like start coming up with strategies to win, because those are the ones that are satisfying when you do win. Like Like I said, I've been like way into like shmups again lately, like I always am. And like, oh, dude, it's so satisfying when I'm like, I get to a stage and I'm like, this is impossible. And then like an hour later, I'm like, oh, I got it. Up in here and then left down here, and you go right here and you go right here. When that guy comes out, you kick him in the nuts and you move right here and you jump right here and boom, and it's like this beautiful dance all of a sudden. Like you know, it's like
So,
so
like, in,
fun, dude.
like, Dark Souls, I feel like when you're doing those hard boss fights, it's not a
Mhm.
fight, it's a dance.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be like, the rhythm game or anything like
Mhm.
that. It's the same principles, just you're pressing the same buttons in essential. You're just doing different things on the screen.
And have
That
to have
comes to our next question.
stamina.
Does it make our list for Game of the Year? I personally think there's another game in a similar genre that deserves the nod that will come
Okay.
up a little bit later.
I haven't played it, so I'm not gonna. I can't say.
All right, we're going to take it out of the list. Next one on the list is Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm just going to excuse myself for a second, Joe, but I'll let you talk about this one because I know you played it.
Okay. So, I mean, I loved Resident Evil 4. Like I said, I thought it was absolutely a fantastic experience from start to finish. I also liked the old Resident Evil 4 as well. And so I don't know, like I don't know, I'm like really like nostalgic for the old combat and the old way it was, even though it was kind of janky. Like I like that, and I thought that added some nice elements to it. And guys, I don't know if you guys ever watched. Do you guys ever watch Electric Underground, that YouTube channel? There's this channel, and like this guy Mark, he does this really good review of kind of like why the mechanics of the original are better than the mechanics in the new game. And I care a lot about game mechanics and that sort of stuff. Like I really do like game design. And when you change little things, you may not realize it, but it can like kind of alter how the game plays. And 4, I loved it, but it was like, I don't know, dudes. Like it just feels like nerfed down a little bit to me. Like it's just easier, like it's more polished and it's a smoother experience. And I feel like that's what modern gaming is. It's like not like it's like a lot of like the main companies now, they don't have that. They don't want to make you uncomfortable at all. Like they really don't. And they'll give you like 35 difficulty levels so that way you don't ever have to be. You can play on just the one that's the easiest. And I understand there's a lot of people that's what they want. They like that easy. They don't want to be stressed out when they play games. That's a logical way to play games. Like my girlfriend always makes fun of me because she's like, do you have fun when you play games? Because I'm always just like swearing and mad and pissed off because I'm tired and losing. And I'm just like, yeah, this is fun for me. I like to like I like games that torture me in a little bit. So I don't know. It's strange. So I can't say for everybody, but I thought the old game was a little more harder and required a little more skill. Like I like the high skill based games, whereas this new one was a little bit easier, in my opinion. Like I didn't struggle on anything really in the new game. I just rolled right through it. Same thing with Resident Evil 8 Village. Like I just don't think that was that hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys. I just didn't think that was hard. 7 I liked a lot more than 8, to be honest with you. 7 I thought was scary as hell. Again, it was a huge departure from the rest of the series, so I wasn't thrilled about that at first, like the first person perspective, like everybody else. But overall, I really do like 7. I think it's really fantastic. They might, and that's so that's the thing, Banffy. When you come down to it, like remakes, even if it's the best remake ever, like I don't know, I just don't think it's the right spirit to put it in the list. But I could see it being a lot of people's game of the years, legitimately, and it could be definitely the best game that you played this year. So I don't
Especially for people's first experience of Resident Evil 4. Like,
know.
you gotta remember, so many people are just getting into gaming. They wouldn't have played
Mhm.
Resident Evil 4 20 years ago. So they've just experienced it.
Yes.
They love horror games. They would have been like, definitely game
Yeah.
of the year.
So that I'm so glad that you mentioned that. The next point I was literally just going to make is I'm like, I don't know if I loved it as much because I already had so much love for the PS2 version. As opposed to Dead Space, I'd never played the PS3. I never played Dead Space on PS3. So this version of this was the first time I'd ever played it. And I loved the hell out of it. I was totally like way into it. So people could have the same complaints about Dead Space that I have about Resident Evil. I wouldn't know. And I loved Dead Space. And so
Are
like to
you
me,
gonna
like, I
play
thought that
2 and
was
3
better.
now?
So I feel like they're going to remake Toast. I don't know. I feel like they're going to make 2 and 3 again. I might want to
Actually,
wait.
after the sales of Dead Space, I would assume the same at this point.
I don't see why not.
It's free money,
Um,
right? Like, you don't have to do much as a game developer. You just gotta improve your old one, and you know how to do it because you just done it on the first one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be against playing it if somebody, because I think one of them's co-op, right? Is it 3 that you can play with 2 people?
I haven't played it, so I couldn't say.
I think one of them's co-op, so maybe I'll play that one with somebody or something like that.
So, Joe, my question: are we keeping it on the list, or are we removing it as a remake?
Well, what do we have on the list so far? We only
So far, we
put
only have
4?
Hogwarts Legacy, but we do have the main nominations to come. So we haven't actually touched any of the nominations yet.
Well, Resident Evil 4 was a
Alan Wake.
nomination.
Which
And
one?
Alan Wake was.
Oh yeah,
Resident
yeah.
Evil
Resident
4.
Evil 4 was. You're right.
I'm not. I wouldn't put it on my list.
All right, I'll take it away.
Again, not that it's not a good game. It's just
We're now down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, like 5 real bangers that we're going to come up, and then this next one, Mario Wonder. Like, I mean, it's a new Mario game, right? It kind of has to be in the conversation every year. I personally haven't played it. I haven't even looked into gameplay. Is this the one with the elephant?
Yeah, this is the 2D one.
I'm sure it's great. It's a Mario game. There's no Mario games that are bad, right? It's just like these type of Mario games.
I haven't heard anyone complain about it, which is amazing because it's the
I
internet.
also haven't heard Game of the Year being thrown around with it being talked.
I'm a little shocked any 2D platformer would be a Game of the Year nomination in 2023 at this point, considering we have like VR. I don't know, but
Starfield, like whole universe to explore and stuff, you know.
I'll be truthfully honest with you. I think that I don't want to get anyone mad. I think people like Nintendo too much, and like they'll just, anything with Mario or Zelda on it is going to be heaped with praise. Like
Well, Pokemon's the same. Like, I'd argue now that the Pokemon games aren't great. Like, the last games were a bad experience, and the DLCs have just sold tens of millions of copies. People don't care that they're putting out shit games; they're still going to buy them. You know?
So this is what I'd say. I'd say Mario Wonder looks dope, but if you put all of the top 5 nominations in front of me and said you can pick one of these games and go play it, I wouldn't pick that one.
I'm the same with you, and just due to the games on this list, and because I haven't played Mario, I'm going to take it off our list. And you're in agreement with that?
Yeah, I am. We can get Mario hate.
All right, we're starting to really narrow down the list. Next one, game that I played, Starfield. So I put about 120 hours into Starfield. Picked it up day one on a PC that was on the minimum side of the requirements. Probably had 20 crashes. And then I hit my friend Andy up, and he got my computer running better. And since that moment, didn't crash once. In saying that, in those 20 crashes, I was still loving the game. I was crashing and hitting the restart button every time. Where other games crash, I'm like, fuck that game. Turn something else on. No, I wanted to get back into Starfield. Amazing. Like, it felt like I was playing Skyrim for the first time. That experience. Like Fallout 4 for the first time. I'm just like, wow, like Bethesda have done it again. You know, they've got all these game mechanics and they've just made it work. And like, you know, I felt like I was exploring the universe, and I didn't do the main missions. The main missions are amazing, but like I feel like I wanted to save them. You know, when you're like eating a plate of food and you favorite food plate and you eat that last. Like that's how I felt the missions are in this game, because they were some of the best. Okay. A little bit controversy. Some of the Missions almost
Yeah,
feel
I
like
guess so.
they were written by AI, but I feel like
Mhm.
they were done really well. The diversity of different accents, like I love my geography, you know that. I could go
Mhm.
to different planets and be like, oh, that's a South African guy. And these guys are from New Zealand, and these guys are Australian, and oh, these
Mhm.
guys are like Nordic, and like that for me was amazing. That the game went,
These
let's not,
guys are from Boston.
yeah, exactly, exactly. The game went, let's just not make different planets. Let's put
Mm.
people speaking differently on every planet. Like, let's give them all their
Mhm.
own, personality, and it's just like I'll talk about this now because it's not going to be a spoiler because the game came out 6 months ago. I did a side quest, right?
Mhm.
Just a side quest, and I met up with this ship. It had been, and spoiler alert if you haven't played the game, it's a pretty cool quest. So give you guys a second to mute it.
Okay,
Um,
oh man,
I
I'm
met up
just.
with this ship, right,
Mhm.
floating through space, and
Mhm.
it was an old ship and they didn't have radio communications, so it was weird. It was like I was going to
Mhm.
meet aliens. And I came on the ship and they were humans. And the humans were really surprised to see me. It was a weird interaction. And you
Mhm.
start talking with them and you realize these humans are from Earth. And they're like the first lot of humans that left Earth, but haven't communicated with anyone since they left. And it's been like 250 years of interbreeding on this one ship. And like in my head, I'm making this like, oh my god, this is like a whole TV show. And this, like the story from just this one side quest, absolutely blew my mind. I won't say how it ended or anything, but yeah, just that was just a side mission, man. Like one throughout the game. It didn't feel
Mhm.
like you play your generic RPG. Hey, I need this delivered to this place. It was cool.
There's rats in the basement. Please bring me 12 pelts. Like, all right.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel like that.
I like games like
I will
World of
admit I haven't
Warcraft.
finished the game. I got to like the 150-hour point, haven't returned. A little bit of a criticism. The game's probably bad to say, but it's too big, almost overwhelming. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I could never finish it properly unless I put in like 1,000 hours, which I won't be. But that also excites me too because I know that I've always got Starfield there to play and continue playing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but overall, I actually feel like it should be on our list over Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay. I mean, we don't have to remove anything yet, so we can just throw it on there.
Yeah, we'll keep it on there for now.
So your comment about like saving the quest and not wanting to do it, like, dude, that's exactly how I felt when I played Skyrim. Like, do you know how it like you have to choose a faction, like I
Yep.
can't remember, like I refused to choose for like 50 hours, bro. I put like I did everything else, and before I'm like, no,
It's not because you don't want to do it.
I'm
It's
not,
because you
no,
want
I
to
just
savor it. And
yeah, I want to exactly. I'm like, no, I'll get to that. I'll do the main stuff
I'm
because then
gonna wait till
I
I
don't want
got
to miss
everything
anything.
unlocked so I can play it the best way possible. And
Yeah, and then if you progress the main storyline, sometimes you will like change something in the game and you can't go back. Like it's like, nope, once you've done this thing, then that means this person's no longer on this mountain. And if that guy's no longer on the mountain, you can't do this quest chain anymore. It's over. Like Elden Ring, I got screwed. I had no idea what I was doing when I played that game. And like, so I finally get to the end of the game and I'm like, I should probably figure out like what I'm doing. And I look up all these builds and it's like, go to this place. Can't go kill this person. Nope. Not can't. Nope. They can't. I'm like, oh, shit. I screwed up so bad. Like,
I want to add one thing that I feel Starfield
hey,
did
what's up,
really
Phil?
well. So in Skyrim, you had two factions. They're both really cool. They had their own storylines, two of the best main quests in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only pick one. Starfield have four factions.
Mm.
It lets you play through all four storylines. It doesn't give you one to pick and you have to play again, which I loved because I wanted to do everything in Skyrim. I don't care that I'm on both sides. Let me play the battle twice. I don't want to play the game again.
That's so when I first played Skyrim, that's the mistake I made is I tried to do everything. I'm like, I'm gonna be a two-handed wielder, wizard, archer, thief, werewolf. I'm gonna be everything. And it was just like it was absurd. And like I didn't realize that Skyrim, you're not supposed to do that. Like you're supposed to like just play one class, beat the game, play another class, beat the game, play. And I just didn't realize that at the time. So I, like you said, I don't want to do that. I want to have my one dude who's just like level 1,000, and he's just the OP god, and just rolls through and has everything all in one thing. Like, yeah, and that's
Go
what
into
I
your
picture.
house and you have more
Mhm.
items in your house than there are left in the world.
Dude.
That's what I want. I want there to be more loot in my base than in the rest of the game.
I spent just an absurd amount of time decorating all the houses in that game. Like, I had
All right, we're keeping it on the list for now.
All right.
Next game we're going to talk about
Mhm.
is one that could win Game of the Year, and that is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
played it yet, but I really want to play this game. And
Mhm.
it was another case of the whole Alan Wake 2 thing.
Mm.
Didn't have a physical, but it was to the point where I was like, I want to play this even though it doesn't have a physical because it's that good. But guess what?
Mhm.
Getting a physical release. So I'm going to
Yep.
wait and pick up a physical copy. Even if I can't get the collector's edition, there's a Japanese version with English. I'm going to play it physically, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I think I'll pick up the Japanese copy. I don't need the collector's edition, but I do absolutely want to get this game because it's, first of all, they did release the physical copy, which thank God they did. I'm so glad they did. Support that. You know what I mean? Like, support their decision. Like, have that Japanese copy sell like crazy and have them reconsider, like, maybe we should have released this. Wow. Think of how many people would have bought it.
Oh,
We
wow.
actually-
We just sold 10 million extra copies, all physical. That's significant. And look, you go on social media and they're posting photos of our physical game and
Mhm.
they're sharing
how
this
happy
and
they
they're
are.
sharing that. And, like, that's it. Dude, we're us as collectors posting photos of our games. That's free advertising for these companies.
Yes. And
Like,
you
like
can't
it
you
is.
can't
It really is.
we can't sit here and bitch about Alan Wake 2 and then not support Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
When they were like,
pickups is
Yeah.
guess what? That's advertising for free for these
Mhm.
tiny little indie developers.
and I also, like, yeah, they can send out promos to people and stuff. So another thing about Baldur's Gate 3 that I'm just like, so it has a lot of things going for it. Everybody says it's really good. First of all, it's great. And it runs correctly. Didn't need a bunch of patches. Or there's probably, I'm sure
People
it
say
has
it
some.
feels like if D&D had a JRPG.
Yeah. And I heard it's just it's turn-based, which the old school in me, like, I'm a huge fan of turn-based RPGs, man. Like, you're talking my language. I like action RPGs, but turn-based ones, like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, a game that you can sit there and, like, smoke and eat and pet the dog and play with one foot. Every once in a while, I do like a game like that where it's not like you can take your time and just strategize.
Well, if you played JRPGs in the 90s, that's all you had because there was no such thing as an action JRPG back then.
Tales existed, but it was crude and it was like in its infancy. So they were in, like, it was like Zelda would be more. It was like action, but that was not an RPG.
I
I'd say,
with things like Pokemon. That's all turn-based games.
man, I wonder. We need Forrest in here right now. What is the first action RPG? I wonder. Like Ys, maybe? Ys on the Sega Master System, sort of. Yeah, I'd say maybe Ys, dude. Books 1 and 2. That game is like, you're like this little dude and you walk around and you just like bump into shit. But like there's no combat like other than that. So I'd say it's probably
had PS1 games like that. Like
what?
The old Kingsfield titles and things like that.
Oh, Ys came out on the Master System. No, wait, I think the Ys came out originally.
Before my time, I'm not going to know it.
Oh, dude, I think somebody
saying,
schooled me on this one.
Chrono Trigger, Evermore.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, but I think Ys came out on like a Japanese PC in the 1989 or some shit like that, or something like that. It's got to be one of the oldest ones. Although, wait, no, it's probably there's probably Atari ones. We can have
Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely going to be on our top 4 list.
100%.
If anything, could definitely win Game of the Year. I don't think it will win, but
Mm.
I would argue that it probably is the Game of the Year. The other game's just going to win because of what the game is, and we'll get to that.
I hope so, because, like I said, it got a physical release. I hope everybody supports it. It gets complete. There's no DLC. It's like what we all complain about. It's the opposite of that. It's like someone doing the right thing, and like if we don't all buy it, and Fortnite is still king. Fortnite will win.
Next game, one that I've been playing and loving recently, and that is Lies of P. So Lies of P didn't have any. I didn't hear about this game until after it came out. I couldn't even tell you the people that made it. But Joe, feels like Bloodborne. Like, I'm a Dark Souls fanatic, and this is like, in terms of the games you play, if you're a Dark Souls fan, this is on the list. Lies of P is on the list, and it's not down the bottom of the list. It's like in the middle. It is so good. I'm on chapter 6 or 7. I think there's like 10 or 12. I don't know. I am loving it. I'm about 30 hours in. Just absolutely loving the game. It's a single player experience. I don't know if there's online at all. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Some of the mechanics they've put in the game that isn't in some From Software games are really great, which I've mentioned on the show already. Like the fact that if you fight a boss and you die, your souls are at the boss door. So you don't have to just lose all your souls, or you can keep grinding, which is a little like quality of life change. That's great. I'm loving the story. I'm loving just exploring again. So what I love most about Dark Souls games, and this is a love-hate relationship. So I love my first playthrough, exploring, discovering something, like finding a locked door and opening that door and being like, I've just come back to the start of the game, and now this is opened, and this happened, and like this is happening in Lies of P. Like, there's a hub, and I'm halfway through the game, and I've just opened the door, and it's opened this door that I didn't even realize was a door back to the starting hub, and it's linked all these things up, and like, that's amazing for me. Unfortunately, the downside is once you play through a game once, you can never have that experience a second time.
Correct.
So you need more games to do that, and like other games,
that's not true. You can damage your brain with drugs and just not remember it, and then come back and be like,
I'm not willing to do that, Jeff. Sorry, even for Dark Souls.
Oh, all right.
The Men in Black thing. Play a video game. Play it again.
Dude, I would do that if I could. Are you kidding me? There's a couple games I would love to play again for the first. Dude, BioShock all over again for the first time. Oh man, I would love that more than life.
Dark Souls 1 again for the first time for me, and I would love to watch myself play it.
So Liza P. I mean, it's called Liza P. Does it have a lot of like P-ness in it?
No. So the P stands for puppets.
You didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not immature for
that. I am. I'm very. Come on, guys. Like, you're getting at least. I can't not make a PP. It's called Liza P. There's gonna be PP, a penis. There's got to be some sort of P.
Can I explain it now? So the premise of the game is you're a puppet, and you can like
it's Pinocchio.
Change strings out and stuff. But you're a smart puppet. Mm-hmm. You're one of the only puppets that has the ability to lie, and that's where the Lies of P comes in. Mm-hmm. And you're convincing humans that you're not a puppet because you can lie, and puppets can't lie. So it's really cool. It's cool how you're not just a man with a sword trying to save the princess. It's a cool premise. Yeah, like Pinocchio and everything. It's
no, cool. You are supposed to be Pinocchio.
I feel like you are. Yeah.
No, that's what P stands for, I believe. But maybe they couldn't use the name. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But it feels like the Pinocchio story and everything.
So for you, this would be like one of your games of the year for sure. But
100%. Like, in saying that, it's been a good year, man. It's been a very good year. Games.
I agree. What do you?
And I want it on the list.
All right. Okay. We can put it on there.
We can argue later on, but right now there's 4 games on the list.
That's fine.
All right. I know one's 100% going to be on there. So
yeah, Okay, let's do it.
We'll save that one for last. Next one, Spider-Man
2. Game sucks. No, I'm just kidding. It's not bad at all. I'm just looking. It looks amazing.
I played the first Spider-Man and I loved it. Like the free roaming in that game was one of the most enjoyable experiences I've ever had in a video game. Just being able to go around New York City with your web, and I've heard that they've just made the city bigger. Fuck yeah. And they've made the free roaming even better.
I think we're wrong. Banfi says it's Kong. And
Well,
if
Turner's saying it's Golem.
if he's not right, it's Turner. Yeah, I mean, I think our list sucks. I think we need to start over Gollum and Turner. That's definitely all right. We're putting that on there. But I think he's the most right of all, though. I don't like award
I
shows.
mean, it is completely unnecessary to have an award show for it. They can just announce it.
So
like they need to make money.
so this is what I think. I think that their opinion is like literally as valid as Figsy's or mine or anything. It doesn't matter. Like I actually find the idea that like someone thinks their opinion is so good that they're like, I have honored you with my approval. How do you?
I'll tell you what matters
and
more
you're like,
than the opinion, Joe. 100%.
What?
The sales. Game of the year was Hogwarts Legacy. If you go
correct.
On
so exactly, and like, what are the fans like? What are the people like?
Yeah, what game got the highest rating?
Yeah.
That matters. There's a couple of games that I believe Tears of the Kingdom and Lies of P. And Baldur's Gate 3 were 97s, 98s on Metacritic from fans, which is as good as a game's gonna get. You'll never see 100 because there's trolls out there.
Of course not. And also like the internet is so nasty. Like to have anything where people go, we all like it is amazing. Yeah. That is hard to do. Like that's why I feel like so many people were salty about like Elden Ring doing so well. You know what I mean? They're like, it's just like they're like, why does everybody like this? It's just like, I don't know, like it gets them mad and that's, and I don't think everybody loved Horizon and Last of Us 2 the same way. I just don't. And like, look, they have to remaster Last of Us 2 to try to sell it again.
We'll get to that again later, but oh my fucking god, I thought that was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, dude.
Like, hang on, that's from Naughty Dog. What the fuck?
Yeah, right, but yeah. Anyway,
so Spider-Man 2 is it on our list?
I think it has to be, bro. I honestly think. I mean, I haven't played it.
I personally would say that the other games are stronger myself, but we can leave it on there and then debate.
What's on there right now?
Well, we have 5 on there, and we're just about to add the next one. We'll talk about this one first. Okay. Tears of the Kingdom. Now,
it has to be on there.
You've played it, but
no, I have played it.
My first Zelda
game. I played like maybe 20 hours before I gave it to my sister because she was like,
I'm putting.
She's like, when are you going to be done? I'm like, 3,000 hours from now. Just take it and give it back when you're done because I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. So
I'm putting it up with not just the best game I've played this year, like one of the best games I've ever played. Like that type of experience.
And I've heard that from a lot of people. So
yeah,
I mean. I think it's on the caliber with. I mean, I think the best 2 games in the whole list are definitely Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate, for sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I feel like that's what it's going to come down to is those 2 games
for similar reasons, because, like you said, they're complete experiences. They got supported physically. They offer tons of content. It's satisfying content. It plays well. It's not broken. Oh my god, there's just so much going for it, and it's pretty innovative too. Like that, let's be real. Like what you can do in Tears of the Kingdom is ludicrous.
No, yeah, like
you can freaking build goddamn Voltron in that game out of logs and shit if you want to. Form the head. You could build insane machines and stuff in that game. So it's got to be up there. I'd say that those are definitely like top of the heap.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there, Joe. So I've separated the list into
Hogarth's Legacy,
top 2, and then we have these 4.
We can only pick 4. We can't pick 5. Why 4?
We're gonna go with 4.
Why? Why 4? Why?
Narrowing it down.
Let's do a chat poll. 4 or 5? How about 3? Okay,
2 or 6. That would make it a lot easier.
All right. So my man, I think I honestly, dude, I think it's Hogwarts has got to be on there, man. I really do. Like I'm gonna advocate for Hogwarts. I know you
See,
may not.
I played Hogwarts and Starfield, and I
Mhm.
have to say Starfield gets the nod for me.
So
The
I
whole
would
hype that Starfield had behind it, and they
Mhm.
actually delivered. Like that's got to stand for something. Like the
Mm.
scale this game took on was like a No Man's Sky. Like if they failed,
Mhm.
you know, it could have been the end for Xbox. Xbox are killing it right now. We were talking 6 months ago that Xbox is, you know, relying on this game. Like
Mhm.
Redfall had a bad experience, and
I out of these 4 games, it's not that I wouldn't want to play Lies of P, like, but I would if you said here, what games do you want to play? I would pick Starfield and Hogwarts Legacy out of these 4 because I'm gonna get
okay. I thought
I'm gonna get my content out of those games for a long time. Spider-Man 2, I can't imagine is that long. Lies of P, I see. I don't know. I feel like if I could pick 5, it'd be no brainer. I'd put that in there. But if you're making me pick only 2, I would go with probably Starfield and Hogwarts.
okay, yeah. Like I find it really hard to separate Starfield and Hogwarts Legacy. I'm gonna agree with you. How I haven't played Spider-Man 2, so it's less of a like this is such an amazing game because I haven't played it. Don't know how long it is. Don't know how long I would take to play it. Yeah, like
So
Lies of P isn't a Elden Ring to me. It isn't a like. I mean, I know I compare it to Bloodborne, but it's not as good as Bloodborne. I haven't finished it yet. It might, if the game goes on for another 50 hours, I'm going to be back on here in a podcast going, "We were wrong, Joe. It's the best game I've ever played."
He's like, turns out I was a real boy.
All right. Here,
That's what I'd go with.
goes 2023.
Can you
game
please make it say
review.
Hogwarts Legacy instead of Hogarth's Legacy?
Oh, did I spell it wrong? Oh yeah, Hogwarts.
That's like yogurt legacy. You know? Thank you.
Hogwarts.
So
And I would be happy if either of 2 of these won.
So,
I don't
let's be real.
see Baldur's Gate winning. I see like
If you
it's
got
only gonna
4
be
games,
disappointing.
if you got 4 games to play in 2023 and you got these 4 games, you had a fucking good year, dude. And you probably still haven't finished these 4 games.
Yeah.
I bet there is enough content in these 4 games to last you the whole year.
If you
really
if you
do.
100%ed these 4 games in 2023, you're a hardcore gamer.
Yeah. So Spider-Man 2, it's just an I don't know. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1. It was more like a cinematic experience to me. Like I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it that much as other people, but like I don't know. I'm just not into like superhero stuff as much as other people. Don't hate me. I'm not like so. I feel like I'm biased because I'm way into fantasy. So and sci-fi, like way into both of those things. So that list is clearly my preference. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
but that's what it's got to be. It's got to be
Yeah.
our opinion and everything.
dude. Like fantasy, I'm way into that. Like across the board, like whether it's
Joe,
fiction games or whatever.
it is time to
dear
play.
God.
It's Figsy quiz time.
Let's go. How am I?
And you guys
who
might be
am I?
thinking, Figsy quiz.
Mm.
There's no guest on tonight. Well, that doesn't matter. It's going to be Joe versus himself.
I'll still lose somehow.
Going to be 7 questions tonight, Joe.
Okay.
To win, you need 4 correct answers. If you
So I
have
can
any
still lose even though I'm the only one competing. This is
helps.
humiliating.
However, we still have a question for chat. You guys can always win. This is our North American show. The way this works is first person to 5 points will win themselves a video game. So currently we have Banfi on
Bill
2
Nye.
points, Cyrus on 2 points. And chat, your question this week, name the video game. While Chad are thinking about that one, we'll get into it, John. So the way this is going to work is this is going to be a Thanksgiving themed quiz.
Oh, I think I know it. I think I know that.
And with Thanksgiving, what do you have for Thanksgiving?
Usually like fights with your family.
I'm more or less thinking, what type of meat do you eat on?
Oh, turkey, baby.
So guess
Yep.
what? We're having a turkey themed.
Some heathens have ham.
However, we've taken turkey a little bit differently, and we are going
Mhm.
to be going with. You have to name. I'm
Mhm.
going to show you 2 video games for every
Okay.
question, and you have
Yep.
to tell me which video game was set in the country of Turkey.
What the? So this isn't Thanksgiving themed. It's freaking turkey themed. What the
I laughed so hard because yesterday playing GeoGuessr, we played a turkey themed map for Thanksgiving.
You know, I know a lot about turkey, so this should go great.
All right, question number 1. Which video
Oh,
game was
no.
set in Turkey?
I think chat got their question, by the way. Oh, let me get out of chat so I don't see any of them if they guess. Let me get out of there. Okay. All right. So, which one of these takes place in Turkey?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna go with 3 because it's like a freaking desert, bro.
Correct answer was Uncharted 2.
All right, this is gonna go
I'm
great.
just going to chat quickly. We have a correct answer from Turner with NBA Hang Time. West Ben got it right too, but Turner was first.
Nice.
And Turner will take the point. Congratulations. And
Congrats.
Turner gets his first point of this round, this season.
Very cool.
All right, Joe, you're currently on 0 points.
Yes.
The next 6.
No,
Question
dude.
2. Which game
Mhm.
was set in Turkey?
How the fuck do I know, man?
Lego Indiana Jones 2 or Tekken 6?
Lego Indiana Jones 2.
It was Lego Indiana Jones 2. Joe takes the point.
Okay, because I'm just like I've played Tekken 6, and I don't remember any hashish. So I'm assuming it wasn't in Turkey.
All right,
Okay.
question 3.
Yeah.
Which video game was set in Turkey? 007 from Russia with Love or Siphon Filter?
So it's probably some freaking goddamn trick because it says from Russia with love, so you figured it would be in Russia, but this is how this game works, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. So then I picked that, and then because that Siphon Filter.
Is incorrect. It was
I fucking hate this game.
I would just add though, Russia and Turkey are pretty close to each other.
I know, but it says Russia. It's the
If you watch the movie, you'd know they go to Russia. I mean, to Turkey.
I ain't even mad, bro. Let's
All
go.
right, Joe, you've still got 1 point. You can still win, but you need to
No.
get every question right from this point on.
I'm Pavel. We're gonna have a talk.
Next question.
How you
Which
doing?
video game was set in Russia? Was it The Evil Within 2 or Dying Light?
Evil Within 2.
It was Dying Light.
Shit.
All right, so you can't win, but we will finish it off.
Oh.
Which video game was set in Turkey? Did I say Russia? I meant Turkey.
You said Russia, so I get a point.
I totally meant Turkey.
You cheated because Evil Within 2 is in Russia. No idea.
Is it Far Cry 2 or Assassin's Creed Revelation?
Far Cry 2.
It was set in Africa. It was Assassin's Creed Revelation.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah, I knew where that one was set. You got no excuses. All right, next one. Surely you get this one.
All right.
Burnout Paradise or
Mhm.
Jackie Chan's Around the World in 80 Days?
Burnout Paradise.
That was Jackie Chan's Around the World in 80 Days. Come on! It says Around the World. Of course they got a turkey.
Jackie Chan's not allowed in Turkey after what he did there. You don't remember?
All right, final one, Joe. You've got 1 point for a bit of
All
pride.
right. Let's go. Driver.
3 or Call of Duty 2?
Driver.
It was Driver 3.
Oh, I'm trying to get them all wrong. Damn it.
Thanks for playing the Figsy quiz. And well done, Turner, for nailing this week's question.
I have to say, I am shocked how many games take place in Turkey. I had no idea that was such a popular setting for video games. The only movie
Well, I actually feel like it was hard for people to find those games. So
The
there's
only-
probably not many set in Turkey, really. What, 7 video games out of how many thousand have come out?
the only thing I literally know about Turkey in my whole life is there's a movie, I think it's called Midnight Caravan, where some dude gets like arrested for trying to smuggle hash out of Turkey, and he goes into a Turkish prison and they stab him in the ass. And that's all I remember. That's it. That's all my entire. That's my entire knowledge. Oh yeah, and the guy's. What's the guy who is that? Erdogan? I think Erdogan is in charge there.
Yeah, Batman's in Turkey too.
What is he? I don't
There's a
know.
city in Turkey called Batman, and they like sued
No.
Warner Brothers for using the name Batman. Long story. It's worth looking up a YouTube video about it.
All these stupid tourists steal our signs.
Oh, they're now today they use the town as like a tourist attraction.
That's what you should do.
Yeah. It works.
You should. Then you sell Batman crap, and you have a cave, and you do tours. Yeah, I mean that's what I'd do.
I got some memes sent in from you guys.
God, as long as we don't do more quiz, thank dear Lord. Okay.
Every document about serial killers. He was alone. He had no friends. He
Mhm.
had no lover. He spent all his time at home. Gamers.
Yeah, I know. I have been a little agitated lately.
Can relate.
Dude, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but like they think there's like hundreds of active serial killers in the United States that they don't know who they are. That's a scary ass thought. So just
American
throwing that out there. Throwing that old lady next door. Don't trust her. Mm-mm.
11-year-old me deleting all the files except the game icons to save space. Done that before. Learnt my lesson. Too funny. Like it wouldn't happen today because this is so big. But back in the day, you know that 10 megabytes. Whoa! Hold up there, Sonny Jim. That's how
I do know. That was I do know.
All right, next one.
Mhm.
That awkward moment when you spawn in at the enemy's base.
Oh, buddy.
When you're new to a game, but your friends already have cool skins.
Is that Mystery Men? No, that's Night in the Museum, right? Yeah, that's Night in the
Night in the
Museum.
Museum. Amazing Game Studios. First Naughty Dog. What's CDPR?
CD Project Red.
Oh god, Grim Reaper taking them out.
And
And
who's Larian? Who did they?
I'm
What did they? God, they must have just put out something that tanked.
It's next one I've seen around Facebook. It's funny. Warning: these brownies are for shits and giggles. Some have laxatives, some have pot. Heat one, give it 30 minutes. You'll know which is which.
That's I mean, I wish I lived life that hard. That's exciting. I just can't.
I've got a photo of someone enjoying the new Mario game. On their
Oh,
new
very nice. I like it.
platform.
Very cool.
And this is a photo of EX of James Bond 007 with the mustache. That's definitely how.
GoldenEye unboxed. Definitely looks awesome.
Remember the original Duck Hunt? Yeah, neither does AI.
Why is the kid smoking? What the fuck?
No.
That is
It was the
weird.
80s. That was just what they did back then.
No, I was there, man, and at no point did my parents were like, "Oh, you want to play some duck hunt and smoke some marbs, kiddo?" Although I think they did give me a beer when I was about that old. So yeah. My
Apparently,
parents
kids
were
are
not.
drinking less these days. We have this thing here in Australia when people graduate school called schoolies and they go and party for a week. apparently this year, like the alcohol consumption is as low as it's ever been, and blah blah blah.
That's because people can't.
They're like kids are. Oh, I call them kids. They want to wake up at 5 a.m. to get that photo for Instagram, not wake up and have a hangover. Like, oh my god.
Good. I probably will leave.
Yeah, it's positive. I mean, I don't drink. I don't
TD,
think that's a good thing.
children out of wedlock. Less. Probably a good thing. Alcohol makes things not great.
Well, they do it on the Gold Coast, which is like all
Sure.
these skyscrapers, and every year, like there'll be kids jumping off buildings and things like that. So it probably is a really good thing.
Mm.
Joe, I think we'll get into some pickups. I got two things to show off. They're not pickups,
Cool.
but
Mhm.
they're interesting games to talk about, nevertheless.
All right.
So the first one is
Blow you up, Sonny.
Everybody's Golf 6. This is the Chinese English version. It's got trophy support too. Now, Everybody's Golf 6 didn't get a Western release. It got skipped, so the only way to play it is via this version. There is a Japanese version. It doesn't have trophy support. However, and good story with this one. So here we have the Korean version. Now, if you go back to like 2017, I didn't have the English version, and I really wanted it, and I couldn't find it for sale anywhere. And I found this version on eBay for $90, and it said no English. However, I knew that Korean games have got English if there's an English version available. So I just randomly took the punt, paid $90, got this, put it in my PlayStation, and guess what? Full English, all the trophy support, the exact same version as this one. So I feel like I discovered something when I picked this up and let people
That's cool.
know, and other people were picking it up. And it is a fantastic game. I love the Everybody's Golf series. So really cool to have the English versions on PS3.
Yeah, they have. I don't know what it is too. Like on the PS4, it's the same thing. Like they have English like almost all the time on them, and they got tons of unique cover art in Korea on the PS4 that's different from every other region, like different from the Japanese, like different from PAL, different, like they
I'm
get
just
their own
assuming that
unique art.
it's a popular game, but in Korea it must be really popular. Something
Yeah.
along those lines.
I just seen it quite often where I'm like, I'm really tempted to pick up the Korean version just because the artwork's dope. And like you said, I know it's going to have English because I have the other version in English, so it'll have English. So I'm not even worried about it. So, all right. So I got 3 games. So I've been picking up a lot of fighting games. So I grabbed BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle for like
That's a
cheap.
crossover title, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got characters from multiple different games.
It's got 2D blowout and tag team crossover that Dreams are made of. So yeah, it's got to have multiple games. So it's BlazBlue and I don't know. I don't even know.
Something else.
Build a Dream Team. It doesn't even tell me. But yeah, I'm assuming it is. It definitely says it's a crossover. So I don't know. Reg is probably yelling at the screen. You dumbass! It's this game. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I haven't played it anyway. So I picked up another anime themed game.
Oh yeah, I picked that one up. Kill by Kill.
Kill
I
a
think
Kill.
it's got a cool art style. The PAL version's completely different cover. Let me grab it. Like way
Cool.
different. That's the first one, right?
This is Kill a Kill If
Oh, is
Is
that the
the-
second one?
is the title for it. I don't know if they.
I think mine's the first one, so that's why it's going up a cover.
Oh, I didn't even know there was 2 different ones. So now I have to buy that
Well,
one
I'll
too.
grab it. Show.
Yeah, definitely. It's an arena fighter. It's an anime game. They're all pretty much the same, where basically you watch a lot of the anime as cutscenes, and then every once in a while you do like an arena fight and kick people's asses. It's a cool series though. I don't know what it is, but I'm like I want to get like all of the anime themed games. So I have a theory that you know how popular anime is in general and how collectible anime is in general. And I honestly do feel like down the road, like people will like give their kids the animes and tell them to read them and get in them, and they'll be just like want to play these games. I don't know. I think the anime games are just going to be super collectible down the line. People
I
are gonna
agree.
want
They
them.
don't get cheap too. Like
Yeah.
when you see an anime game on sale, you don't.
Well, it's like, you know how like you say like Lego games are expensive because Lego collectors want to collect it. Well, what do you think
Lego
Berserk?
block
What do you think
game.
Berserk people are gonna
Yeah,
want to do? People who love Berserk are gonna want the Berserk game. People who love Naruto are gonna want the Naruto games. People who
Dragon
love
Ball
the
Z
freaking
games.
hell
So,
yeah, hell yeah. You know, so I just
before you
think
show your next game, Joe, I wanted to show the PAL version. Completely different cover art. Look at that.
oh, and it is If. So you have the
Yeah,
same one.
same
That's Kill la
game,
Kill
like-
If. Dude, that's cool. Now let's compare and contrast.
Almost makes you want to get both versions. Like that's
Oh,
so cool.
Does you?
And it's not
bastard.
reversible or anything. You know, look at the inside.
No.
Even the disc is different color, and
Oh, actually, wait. I do have a reversible art in here, but it's not. I don't know if it's the same, but I do have.
well, it's similar. So it's the same art, but yeah, it is this cover. That's cool.
But it's not the same because, like, look at the way the print.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is, but it isn't.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
So if you variant collectors out there, there's one for the list.
that's cool. And you know, it's not a super expensive game, so I would this would be the type of game that I would buy like twice because I do like to do that. Like I you know that game Signalis, that like little horror game. Like I bought the ESRB and the Japanese copy because they're both really similar, but like one's black and one's all red, and I'm like, oh, they're so fucking cool together. Like having the black and the red it just looks awesome. I'm like, I had to have both.
That's
I
a
can't-
selling feature for me. If a game looks cool and
Yeah,
looks
dude.
cool on myself, I'll buy it.
So this is on sale right now for Black Friday. So if you're interested in this, it's on sale on Amazon for $30. Although mine did show up like torn, but this is a pretty good deal. I'm pretty excited to have this.
Nice one.
This is the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Collector's Edition.
And when you say torn, it's just the seal that's ripped, or is it
Just the
actually-
plastic.
That's all.
Yeah.
I'd just open it in that case.
And honestly, I'm gonna open it anyway. So like I'm gonna probably play this. So let's not even worry about it. Let's just open it anyway. But yeah, dude, it's freaking badass. Comes with the full game, limited edition box with original artwork, special soundtrack CD, art book, color pack. Yeah, that's all it comes with physically, and a bunch of DLC crap. But this is another like anime esque JRP at G. I don't think it's based on an anime. Maybe I'm wrong, but wait, Grand Blue Fantasy. That is an anime, isn't it?
I
I
believe
don't
so.
even freaking know. I think it is. But it's like a fighting game, and then it also has a like an RPG mode that has like a lot of cutscenes and story and stuff like that that you can play. But it's basically ideally a fighting game. But it looks awesome, and for $29.99, can't go wrong. And I just love XSEED games. And if you want to see the actual box art, pretty nice. I like it. So this is like my ideal type of collector's edition. I'm not really into these usually, but something like this, it's not too big. It's about the same size of a regular PS4 game, and comes with a soundtrack and art book. That's pretty much all I want. I want the game, I want a soundtrack, I want an art book, maybe a poster. But that's like all I want. I don't want anything else. Unless I'm like, you know, spending like a big money and it's like a statue or something like that, because I could see myself doing that. So all right. Figsy, what are you doing? You hiding? All right, so that's all I got for games. But I did like pick up some movies, and I just figured I'd show them off because why the hell not? So you guys know how Best Buy and Walmart have announced they're gonna be not carrying physical media anymore. So they're having like a pretty nasty blowout sale on a lot of DVDs. So like I bought a bunch because they were like all of these were like less than $10 except for the last one. So I picked these up. So these are just mostly, I don't know. So this is what I'll explain. So like for me, collecting physical media is super important because I don't like the idea of the streaming services being able to dictate what you can and can't watch just because like they might put it on, they might put it off. They might put your show on you like, they might take your show off that you might like. It might get sold to a different streaming network. It might get, it's just not reliable. So I just like want to be able to watch something whenever I want to be able to watch it. I think that's important. And then also I really do feel like as time goes on, they'll start editing stuff because it's too offensive. They'll say it's too offensive. You can't watch this old movie. You can't watch this old thing because this joke is offensive. And they'll literally start changing it. So they'll be like, well, we can't put it on our streaming network as it is because it's too offensive. So we'll have to edit it, and they'll start changing movies, and you won't be able to watch the original movies, or even, God
You
forbid.
already can't watch the original Star Wars. You already can't watch the original. Blah, blah,
Well, that's
blah.
and
It's only
that's
gonna
what,
get
that's the other
worse.
thing. Some people, they'll make it better, quote unquote, and they'll start screwing with it and editing it and changing it and adding CG and they'll ruin it. So, like I said, I just want the original versions the best they can. And also, like, I don't know, guys, we should all support physical media, even if it's a movie. So, anyway, let's get going here. So, these are all movies that you'll see how old I am. I got Willow. Because I like Willow. I like the actual original Willow, not the new show. The new show on Disney Plus I watched for about 4 seconds, and I shut that
I
thing
just
off.
want to add
And I
something.
shut it right off.
Blu-rays do, the games don't, which I feel is awesome. See that Blu-ray? Hold it up for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new, comes with the disc. It's also got a download code.
Yep.
So you can download it for free, which won't cost the company anything. You already bought the product, so you may as well give your customer the product twice.
I wish all the games, good games,
Yeah.
did that. I really.
And I wish games did that, and then the way they did it, like Limited Run, for example. I mean, we spoke about this. You buy a game, sweet. Here's the game. 10 seconds after you buy it, here's the download code. By the way, your physical copy will be there in 9 months, but you can play it today. Like, there's no logistically, they wouldn't lose any more money doing this. I mean, there might be some things that they are.
No, there could be some people who give away their codes, but who cares, dude? You're not losing. You're not losing money.
Especially the companies that are making their own games and selling them like that. And it's a game that like 10,000 people in the world have played. Like, you should be putting your shit out for free. It'd be like a music artist being like, yep, 1,000 people have heard my song. If you want to hear it, you got to buy a $40 CD. It's like, no, you're putting it out for free and you want people to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. You want people to come to your concerts and buy your T-shirts is what you really want. But, all right, so Labyrinth, gotta have it, dudes.
Nice.
That's classic, bros.
One I've sold plenty of times before.
Yeah, I'm a Jim Henson fan, so I love Labyrinth. I love Dark Crystal. I like even
that'd be like a $30, $40 DVD over here. Like, that would be something that I'd be like, oh, eBay bait. That I want for myself.
Oh, these are all the 4K HDR for Ultra.
Yeah.
These are like the good ones, and they're normally like at least $20 to $30 a piece, and they're all on sale for like $7. So I went and I was like, hell yeah. So I grabbed that. $7, dude. Like I said, I already have the Dark Crystal, so I was going to pick this up at some point anyway. So hell yeah. And then I couldn't help myself. Got to have it. The original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. None of that new crap. I want the original, and I want to see it in 4K Ultra HD. I bet that looks dope, dude. You know what I mean? I want to look at the chocolate fountain. I want to, see that blueberry tit, girl. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
The elevator at the end and everything.
Godzilla, dude, had to have it. Godzilla vs. Kong, bros.
I got a big stack of 4K Ultra HD movies. Maybe you want to buy some.
Dude, hey, if you want to sell them to me $7 a piece, I mean, if they're good.
I paid $1 a piece, so I'm sure we can come to some agreement.
Okay, then I'll give you like 50 cents. No, I'm
I'm telling you how much I paid. Actually, you're gonna laugh. I went in and it was an op shop, and they had DVDs $1 each. They had Blu-rays $4 each, but all the black ones were $1 each because the ladies who priced them didn't know what they were.
Dumbasses. So
I'm like, I'll take all of them. Thank you very much.
I really like kaiju movies like a lot. Like I love Pacific Rim. I like Godzilla vs. Kong. I want to get the other ones in this series too. I guess there's like a whole world of them, but I'm gonna get them all. Yeah, Gene Wilder was the freaking man, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, how could not?
Rest in peace.
All right, so I mean, I had no choice. I mean, I didn't have this in my collection. I had to purchase this. I mean, it was like $9.99, bro. The Highlander director's cut. I mean,
that's a steelbook or is it a slipcover?
It's a slipcover, and I think it is a steelbook. No, it's not. It's just a regular.
And yeah, Farman makes a good point. The PS5 plays those 4K discs.
Sure does.
Which is a good point because not many things can actually play them. Like
that's correct.
That's something that I worried about selling them. Was this is the downside of eBay. If I
Mhm.
sold it to someone who has a DVD player and in their head thinks it will work on their DVD player, guess what? I got to
No,
accept
hell
the
no.
return. Customer's always right.
Oh, dude, I
Like
have
anytime I sell a DVD to someone in the US, I'll message them and say, "Hey, do you know that this is a Region 4 DVD? And unless you have a Region 3 DVD player, 99% of people are like, yeah, no, it's for my collection or I know." But occasionally I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know it's not going to work. Cancel the order."
Mhm.
Because you're saving yourself doing a return and
No, yeah.
having to
I
pay more.
I have a bunch of 3DS cases with no games that I'm trying to sell.
Oh,
And
dude.
every week someone buys one and I'm like, okay, do you realize there's no game in this? And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry. No, I didn't know that. Just cancel it. I'm like, uh-huh. It only says no game in giant caps like 7 times, but all right. Like, and I always ask because, like, you're right. You're like, okay, there's no way he's gonna say he doesn't realize. No, they always do.
So I used to sell Nintendo Switch promos, which in Australia the shop has like a box sitting on the shelf that's like a placeholder, and they have it for all Switch games. But other countries don't have it. And Switch collectors love them. Like, it's an official Nintendo box. It's really
Mhm.
cool. It's
Mhm.
like it would fit a game in it. They're super cool. I had them all on the shelf at one point.
Yeah, I remember you showing them off.
I was selling them. Every second one I sold, they would be like, "Where's the game?" So I realized, like, because 90% of people online are buying Switch games to play, they're not collectors. It's the wrong time to be selling into this market. So I put them all in a wardrobe, and when the Switch is as old as the Wii, and people are buying that stuff to collect, and they're not going, "Oh, that's $40. I'm not buying that because I'm buying a $5 game." That's when I'll sell it to collectors, and they'll probably worth even more because majority of these things, unfortunately, guess what? They're all destroyed. Luckily, I know the girl at one of the JB Hi-Fi stores, and she puts them aside for me, like hides them in the shop so they don't destroy them.
Glad that somebody's doing that, man. You gotta get a kiosk. Hell yeah, man.
No, I had a kiosk. It took too much room, so I sold it.
Somebody around in my area selling a PS1 kiosk, and it's god, I fucking love
Just
that.
be aware if you buy a kiosk,
Hmm.
takes up a lot of room.
Oh yeah, I don't have room for it, so I'm not gonna get it. But I just got to be honest with you. Like, the first time I ever experienced a PlayStation 1 was on one of those kiosks.
Okay.
So I don't want any other kiosk. I want that one though, because and the PlayStation 1, I fucking love it's just I don't know. That one is like special to me. And like when I saw it, I was even like, oh, it's like love at first sight all over again.
I was the same, Jay. Like, I had dreams about this thing, and after I owned it, I had it for 3 or 4 years. I used it.
No, never.
Like 12 times.
I would never use it. Well, you want to stand there and play?
No. Don't think I ever used it by myself. Like,
no, you gonna stand there and play?
It was hey, check this cool thing I've got out. You want to play with me? But it was never me waking up going, "Let's play the kiosk," because it's just not practical. You got to stand up to use it. Like,
I think that's the entire Arcade 1-Up business model, and I think everyone's just going to be selling those things soon because they're like, dude, I don't want to stand here and play this game. Number one. Number two, I don't want to dedicate this much space to this one retro game.
But the guy I sold it to owns an arcade. Like, that's where they're going to end up.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, sure, yeah.
People want to go and play those machines, So it went to the right person.
All right, I got one last thing to show off. And this is honestly like the best thing I'm going to get for all of Black Friday. I don't give a shit. Like, it wasn't even that good of a sale or good of a deal. It was just, I saw it and I'm like, this is like, if I'm preserving any physical media, if there's anything that I need to make sure the histories books keeps, it's this. And that's the freaking Critters collection, boys. Like, I love these movies so much. So it comes with all 4 Critters movies. And if you haven't seen these films, I mean, they're downright Shakespearean. I mean, they're a mixture of like Oppenheimer meets Godfather meets Citizen Kane meets like the Gremlins. It's so stupid. No, it's
are they 90s movies? I haven't watched them.
Gosh, I think the first one came out in the okay, yeah. So Critters 1 was 86, Critters 2 is 88, 3 was 91, and 4 is 92. So honestly, 86 to 92. So that's the sweet spot, baby. That's the end of the 80s, the early 90s. Oh, that's the sweet
See, for
spot
me, right before I was
for
born,
human
frequently
culture.
one of my parents aren't being like, "Hey, what's these horror movies from when you were born?"
All right, so the basic premise is that these are aliens called Krites. And they're like prisoners, and there's like intergalactic police are trying to take them to like prison, and like they escape and they head to Earth, and they show up on like this farm, and like they're like, it's hilarious because they're like these little cute fuzzballs, but they're murderous, and they rip your face off and they eat you, and it's pure cheese. It's like, oh, it's so good though. Like, I don't know, man. It hits that sweet spot between like they were trying to be serious, but they're not. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I like Evil Dead 2. Also, it's like it hits that sweet spot where they're like, they are trying to be serious and they are trying to be scary and they are trying to be gross, but they're also being clearly silly. And that's to me my favorite type of horror movies. I like horror movies that are still a little spooky, they're a little gross or whatever, but they're self-aware and they're like a little goofy. Like, I like Tucker versus Dale. I like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I like Evil Dead 2. I like Critters. I like cheesy, stupid. I like the Munchies. If you know what those movies are, like, I don't know, stupid crap like that. I like Dr. Giggles. If you ever see that movie.
I guess like I wouldn't say I'm not into horror. I just say I'm not into movies. Like I don't watch movies. That's I watch movies where people have showed me a movie, but I play video games and watch videos on Twitch. Like the last movie I watched was one of the Star Wars movies like 6 years ago. Because I was with someone and they're like, "Hey, do you want to see the new Star Wars?" It's not because I went out and bought it and watched it myself. Like,
well, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I went to see. I love Star Wars. I've seen all of them 1,000 million times. The Disney movies, I saw each of them in the theaters once and never watched them ever again. I never watched them again, not once. I watched each of them once and I went, okay. And then I literally was so disgusted with how bad those films were that I stopped going to the movies altogether. I have no idea. Like, I was so upset with how badly they made those films. Like, total amateur hour. Like, literally, like, it wasn't even like, oh, you know, it was pretty good, but it could have been a little bit better. I'm like, this is a disaster. All the way. This is a train wreck.
I'm not gonna. If I was showing kids much the Star Wars movies, there's 6.
There's all sorts of
spin-offs that they did later on. That's not Star Wars,
bro. There are tons of like DVD sets out there that have all the films, and I'm literally going to spend extra money to find a collection that only has the 6. I want an old set that only has the prequels and the originals, and that is it. Yeah. That is Star Wars to me. Everything else is fan fiction. After that, I'm good.
Game of Thrones on the same. Like, even I wish they didn't do that last season because it was amazing up until that point. But like, they made new series and shit. I don't know. I just thought it was all crap. Like, for me,
the House of Dragons is pretty good, dude. The new show is pretty good. Seriously, dude.
I struggled to get into it. I don't know. Maybe it just ruined me on the show, but I couldn't get into it. I don't
blame you, but let me show you this way. In comparison to what else is being offered on television, that show is far better than most shows. It's not great, but it's definitely still worth your time. I like House of Dragons.
I probably watched 10 minutes and went, I don't know, I'm not gonna watch this. And
no. One day. Give it a shot. I think you will enjoy that if you watch the whole season. It's pretty badass. Like I said, compared to what else is out there, it's way better.
It was such a disappointing end to, like,
at terrible.
One point it was like the highest rated thing ever on IMDb, and like me and I don't know if you guys did, but me and all my friends would meet up and watch every episode together. Like, it was our thing that we did, and there was like a big Game of Thrones crew, and I was
Mhm.
reading the books and I was up to date on like the latest book. I mean, he hasn't released a new one in 12 years, but 15
So
years ago, he was releasing books.
I mean, honestly, I blame George R. R. Martin more than the guys making the show because he still hasn't done
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's a bit of a. I mean, he's obviously made money, and he's working with From Software and blah blah blah. But yeah, we probably
Uh,
never see the books done, and we'll never see the real ending on how that amazing series should have ended up.
So supposedly, and he's probably completely full of shit, but supposedly he said that he's been working on both books.
Yeah, I've heard that. He's
And
also
that,
in his
like-
80s, and he's not
Yeah.
the healthiest individual, and
Mhm.
I hope he finishes them. And I know that he's got notes of how the books are to be written if he passes away, and he's got
Yeah,
people
it'll be
still
the
trying-
Wheel of Time all over again. So Robert Jordan wrote The Wheel of Time, and it's my absolute favorite fantasy series of all time. It shits on Game of Thrones. I don't care what anyone says. It absolutely Game of Thrones is fucking compared to The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time Wheel of Time, Game of Thrones. Seriously, Wheel of Time. The best books ever. But the guy that wrote them died before he finished the books. So Brandon Sanderson, who's amazing, had to write the last 3 books, and he did it with the notes from Robert Jordan.
But it's never
and
going
his
to be the
wife.
same because
No.
notes are only one thing. You can't have that vision that's in someone's head.
But
you know?
one thing that I really did like is that I guess the last scene, like the actual ending was written by Robert Jordan. So like
Yeah.
the last part of like how it ended, that was his words. That was how he wanted it to end. That was the last page. That was how it was supposed to be. And then literally like Brandon Sanderson, he did a great job because like he only agreed to do it if he could split it up into 3 books, and he wrote 3 massive books. And even that wasn't enough because Robert Jordan, that dude, god damn, did he build too much in his world. It just went out of like, there was a million loose ends that never got tied up. And Brandon Sanderson did a phenomenal job being like, okay, this means this guy was this guy, this guy's this to tie this up, this person. But he just tried to like everything you wanted to know. He did it like as good as he could. And even there was a couple of things he didn't answer, but whatever. So anyway, it was fantastic.
That's
But
the
yeah.
thing about books, though. Like that can happen, and the author passes away, and the books of your favorite series don't get finished. And... Yeah, Joe, I thought we finished the show on a positive note, and we've got our pickups from the Discord.
Let's do it.
So we start off with Cyrus's pickups, which are always awesome. Oh, we got some limited run Game Boy games and some Game Boy Color titles. We've got the new PlayStation Portable, the Castlevania.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh,
That is beautiful, dude. Wow, man. Congratulations. There's a lot of nice stuff in this pick, dude.
Broken
Wow.
Sword on PS1. Let's go.
Yeah, man. What's the is that what's that? Is that the
What's this? That looks cool.
that RPG? That's the Sand Kingdom one or whatever.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, that does look really good.
And we got more pickups from Cyrus. Absolutely killing it at
goodness.
the moment with the Switch games.
Woo!
Oh man.
Dude, my roommate's playing Talos Principle 2, and he is loving it. He says it's like the best puzzle game he's ever played.
Cult of the Lamb. We got Super Mario.
Oh, dude, look at that
RPG.
Mushi. He's got the Mushi. Oh my god, I can't say it. Mushi Hami-san. Mushi's whatever. Mushi. He's got the mini arcade. I have that up there too. That's freaking awesome, bro.
Is that Persona 5 bottom left?
Yes, it is. Or it might
Oh.
be the tactics game or the strikers.
Okay.
It
Oh
might be
yeah. Cool.
Strikers.
Cool art style for it though. I haven't seen that.
I think
Alien
it's tactics. Oh, that's the
Isolation.
tactics ones. That's the new one.
Ah, okay. The Alien Isolation. I believe all the content's on the cart. Correct?
Yeah, that's like the only complete version you can get. I guess all
All
that's
the
the most.
PlayStation versions of download codes we checked last
Yeah.
week.
He's got the Lord Winklebottom Investigates. I want to get that so bad. What's in the top left? Is that Death Row to Canada? What is that? I can't see. I'm
Dead
blind.
Cells or something?
Oh, is it Dead Cells Castlevania? Oh, that's the
Yeah,
Japanese. That's the Japanese
That's the
collector's edition.
PAL version.
Oh, it's the PAL one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So the PAL one looks sick, and the
And
Japanese one looks
there's the
sick.
PAL game.
Okay. And you know what else I want too is this is a great pick. I talk about this for hours, but on that right, that game Bramble, I'm gonna pick that up too. Looks awesome. That's like on the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Even
And
like House Flipper, I want to try this. Yeah, so many good games in here. Cult of the
and
Lamb.
Radiant Silvergun. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my Radiant Silvergun.
And we got more games from Cyrus. Broken Sword on the Xbox. I know he's going for a full Engage set, so we've got
Ooh,
King of Fighters, which is, I'm assuming, a PAL exclusive.
that's probably an
Let's
expensive
see
one. I'm
what-
gonna guess.
Demon Slayer, which is really expensive on the Switch in Australia. I'm assuming it's probably the same in North America.
Mineko's Night Market is like a little cozy game I've been meaning to pick up for my girlfriend.
Then we got some pickups from Clean. And these are 2 cover variants for Romancing Saga 2. So we got the power. Oh, no, they're both English Chinese versions, and they're 2 different covers. So that's pretty cool.
Very nice artwork too. I heard that's one of the better ones in the series as well, as far as the actual games. It's funny. I own like all of those, and I haven't played any of them yet. That's like
It's
a
like-
JRPG series I've been meaning to like sink my teeth in. Like I want to play through all of those. I want to play through all the Trails games. Whew.
And that's all the pickups over in the Discord. So if you guys want to see your games that you picked up on the podcast, go over to the Discord into the section that says podcast, and there'll be a section that says pickups to show on the podcast, and you just put them in there. There's also a section to post your memes. You can ask us questions. I know we haven't got to a lot of the questions, but we want to do shows like tonight. We wanted to have the 2003 Game of the Year show. It's possible on Sunday that we'll do a show where we just focus on a lot of those questions. So if your question hasn't been answered yet, don't worry, we will get to it. Everything we'll get to that is posted in that group, that's a promise. And yeah, Joe, awesome show. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone over in America. And do they celebrate it in Canada?
I don't know. They probably call it like hockey giving or something, or Maples giving. I don't know.
Well, everyone that celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Everyone else, have a good Friday, Thursday, wherever you are. And go Chelsea, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
All right, man. See you guys later. Have a nice night, everybody.
You